And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching ABL Live. You could be almost anywhere. Now you got the whole virus thing going on. You can't go a whole lot of different places, but you could be somewhere else. But instead of being there, you're right here with me, and I most certainly appreciate y'all for that. Thank y'all for joining. Please like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff for me. We got a few topics on deck for tonight. The one that's top of my mind right now is how these drones are being used in New Jersey to enforce quote unquote social distancing. The drones will pull up on you while you're outside watering your grass, playing basketball, having a birthday party, whatever. Hey, you're too close to each other. Disperse. You're not doing enough social distancing. And it can also give you a ticket up to like $1,000. This is in Elizabeth, New Jersey, not far from New York City. They came out on Twitter and addressed the claims of Big Brother, because that's what it is. You got a drone talking about do this, do that. They came out and said, well, don't worry about it. It's not actually recording any audio and it's not taking any pictures. But if it's not recording audio or taking pictures, then how can it see you? How can they give you a ticket if they are not recording you? Because I could say, oh, it wasn't me you saw not doing my social distancing, and how you going to prove it? There's a whole lot more we got to talk about. That's one of those topics, but thank y'all for being here on ABL Live. You could be anywhere, but you're right here with me. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff for me. I'd appreciate you if you did that. There's a whole lot going on. Like I was talking about with the drones, I'm not a big fan. There's also the issue of Joe Biden's accuser going to the police, filing a police report. Now, I'm not really sure when this whole thing happened. It might have been in the 90s. I'm not really exactly sure of the date. But a person has accused Joe Biden of sexual assault or, sexual misconduct, improper relations between the lady and Biden. So she's come out now and filed a police report. Will it get covered by the mainstream media? I don't think that it will. They probably want to touch it with a 10-foot pole because he's a Democratic nominee, or at least a presumptive Democratic nominee. Now, I think some people understand the fact that Joe Biden is toxic because you still don't have an endorsement from Barack Obama. Barack Obama was basically about the campaign for Deval Patrick, who I think is still in the race. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But where's the endorsement for your man Joe Biden? Why have you not said anything? He's been out there talking a little bit, at least Barack Obama, that is, but no Joe Biden endorsement. I wonder why. Who else is running? Who else has a chance? I think his excuse was at first, oh, I'm not going to endorse anybody until we get a nominee from the Democrats. Okay. Well, there is nobody else really running outside of Joe Biden that can actually succeed. Okay. You may have some guys that are just super low that nobody even knows about, that nobody will vote for. The only guy left really is Joe Biden. So where's the endorsement for Barack Obama? That's what I want to know. What are we really doing? But hey, I don't think that he really wants to go that direction because of how toxic Joe Biden is. Sexual assault allegations. Now, if this were anybody on the political right, they would get just roasted, flambasted, fricasseed. Like it would be just nonstop on the media, 24/7, sexual assault, rapists, all this, that, and the third. Speaking of Joe Biden and sexual assault or misconduct allegations, let's talk about Alyssa Milano and her hypocrisy. Alyssa Milano, an actress who really shouldn't be getting this much attention, but is. She was actually at the hearings for Brett Kavanaugh. I think it were the confirmation hearings. She was there to talk about Me Too. Now, Alyssa Milano is not one of Brett Kavanaugh's accusers. She's not anybody that knows Brett Kavanaugh, as far as I know. And again, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. But somehow she was able to attend the congressional hearing. Why? She was there A lot of followers on Twitter, like 3 point something million followers on Twitter. You're going all over the internet. You're going all over TV, The View, stuff like that, talking repeatedly. You're going on news channels, talking repeatedly. She has a big platform. Now, she came out and did this video talking about people buying guns during the virus kerfuffle, saying, oh, we shouldn't be stockpiling guns right now because if we do that, then that's dangerous and it's not really the right thing to do. But here's the thing about it. It's 99% Democrats that are going out here and getting these guns right now because they want to protect themselves. They did not have their guns prior to this, and that's kind of a mad dash. They understand that the police can't really do that much to protect them, so now they want to protect themselves. So when you're talking to people that shouldn't be protecting themselves, I guess, in your point of view, who are you talking about exactly? And also, is one pretty important thing that she left out, one pretty important part that she left out. She has 2 guns of her own in her house to protect herself. So it's okay when she has 2 guns to protect herself, but then when a regular normie who was on the same side politically as her wants to buy a gun, then that's somehow wrong. Somehow those guns are going to end up in the mass shooting. They're going to end up in the church. They're going to end up in the school. Something nefarious will happen to them. It's kind of weird how that happens. And then my question to that would be, why do you think that these people, these law-abiding citizens, are going to go take that gun and do something bad with it? Because let's be clear, most people that are out there buying guns at the store are law-abiding. As simple as that. The guys you got to worry about, and the girls, not to be gender exclusive, but everybody that goes and commits acts of violence, a lot of these people are buying their guns illegally, black market, getting them on the street, stealing them. They're not getting their guns through legitimate sources, okay? Rarely do you see a guy that's like a gangbanger, killing people, go to a gun store, show his face and his ID to go get a gun. He's going to use to go out there in the street and kill somebody. If you're a criminal, part of your whole thing as a criminal is to steal, to rob, to loot, and to shoot. So why would you go to a gun store like a law-abiding person and buy your gun? To me, that doesn't make any sense at all. Tools of the trade that a criminal would use, you're not going to go get from a store. But then again, you got some dumb criminals like the bodybuilding Nigerian guys in the whole Juicy Smouye kerfuffle. Remember that? These guys went to Ace Hardware or something and bought some swine talking about his lynching rope and some red hats and masks, but different story. I'll move on. The point is that to go get a gun, usually you're not going to go to a store and get it legally. Furthermore, a gun is a tool. So what we going to just ban all tools? We're going to ban hand saws, power saws, nail guns, hammers, jackhammers, knives. We're going to ban everything because it could be used to harm somebody. We're going to ban cars. We're going to ban everything. Are we going to ban sticks and stones because it could hurt your bones? Or are we going to ban gasoline because you could pour it on somebody and set somebody on fire with it? This is crazy. But hey, this is the world that a lot of these leftists live in for some reason, and they can't understand why people are leaving the left because they look at that and see how ridiculous it is. Not only are you trying to get me to disarm myself, you're also a hypocrite because you have guns, 2 of them, in fact, to protect yourself in your house. Plus, you probably got armed bodyguards on top of that. So you got multiple layers of defense, multiple layers of protection. You probably got a gate on your house in LA where you live, but we can't have a wall on the United States. We can have guns to protect ourselves. And many of us cannot afford to have a bodyguard. I don't have a bodyguard. I can't just go out there and be like, hey, protect me. I'm going to give you some money. That's not how that works. So I'm not a millionaire like Alyssa Milano and her husband. And by the way, her husband is a guy that he is an agent over at CAA, which is the biggest talent agency in Los Angeles, Hollywood, California. And CAA are a part of the pimping problem in Hollywood. They are a big reason why Time's Up and Me Too exist. And I think the CAA are also behind the Me Too movement. So it's kind of weird. It's like you give me the problem and then you provide the solution at the same time. It's all smoke and mirrors. The Me Too, Time's Up is all just organizations to go out there and be able to make money. As simple as that. It ain't really nothing else to it. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy online talking. So the whole thing with Alyssa Milano, it just proves the liberal hypocrisy 1,000%. But there's a whole lot going on. I'm going to get back to the drones because that story really just threw me for a loop right there. So if you didn't know, if you did not see my video today, or if you didn't hear me earlier in this particular podcast here, and by the way, you can listen to this podcast as an audio only version on your favorite audio streaming platform. Where I'm on Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, iTunes, Anchor, wherever you are, I'm there. But anyway, the drones are being used by law enforcement in Elizabeth, New Jersey to enforce quote unquote social distancing and whatnot. The drone will pull up on you if you are violating social distancing with a siren and everything. Matter of fact, if I can find that particular video, I'll pull it up. But it'll pull up on you with a siren in the air, buzzing and everything. And it'll be like, okay, you need to disperse because you're not social distancing. You're not, obeying the 6-foot rule, 20-foot rule, 30-foot rule, whatever they want to say. Matter of fact, here's a video. Let me see if I can get it to play with the, so you see the drone right there. I want you to hear the siren as well. Now you hear that siren, that's not one of the police cars that are right there in the bottom. This is the drone making the noise. You see it right here. So the drone will pull up on you. You outside, just, having a nice little walk, significant other. You out there playing baseball with your kids, basketball, curveball, whatever. And cutting grass, having a birthday party or something. Quinceañera in your front yard. The drone pulls up on you with a siren and it'll talk to you. And it'll say, disperse now, stop your action. Okay. Matter of fact, you can see it right here. This is on their actual Facebook page. It says these drones will be around the city with an automated message from the mayor telling you to stop gathering, dispersing, go home. So not just, break away, but actually go back to your house. You can't even be outside. We're closing outside. Outside is closed. Like, I never would have thought in a million years that outside would be closed. You can't even go outside your door. I mean, it's crazy. It's like, come on. The overreaction to this virus is ridiculous. I can't even leave my house. I can't even peek outside. I can't get some fresh air because you're afraid for my own safety. Well, how about my own sanity? If I don't get some fresh air, I think that's going to be worse than the virus itself. So let me go outside. Don't get this little ticky-tack drone on my back and have that be that. And the funny part was that they said that, oh, well, don't worry about the drone because it cannot record or take pictures. But they said at the same time, it can give you a ticket to like $1,000. You can be ticketed. Or you can be given a fine. That's why they call it a fine. So how can you give me a fine if you can't see me, if you can't take my picture? All right. Now, you get a summons and a fine. In order to do that, you got to be able to know who I am. If you want to give me a fine, I'm going to say that's not me. You did not see me. Where's the evidence? And you got to produce the evidence. And the evidence is going to be a videotape of me doing a particular thing, or a picture of me doing a particular thing. Just like red light cameras. What they do, if you got a red light camera, you get a notice in the mail with your car, your license plate, and at the moment when it passed the red light. That's what it'll do, and you pay the ticket that way. It'll be the exact same thing with the drones. So when they say, oh, it can't take pictures and it can't record, I can't tell. And the drones in China are a little bit more, how can I say, honest. Matter of fact, if I could find that one, I got to pull that one up too, because that whole thing was crazy with the China video. But the China video, the drones straight talk to you. They'd be like, look, auntie, you need to go home. We don't have time for this. Don't be outside. And where's your mask? Don't look at me. All of that. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find it. I think I got it right here. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Now, this is them being honest. One thing about China, they don't even really care. If they're going to violate your rights, they're going to do it. Matter of fact, ain't no rights. They're going to just come out and say what they're doing and not try to really hide it for the most part. You know, just like with this whole thing of the coronavirus deaths, they say, oh, it's only 3 to 4,000. Like they're blatantly lying to you in your face. They don't care. They'll do whatever they're going to do blatantly and not really try to sugarcoat it. But let's check it out right here. This is another drone to enforce social distancing over in China. All right, hold on one second. Let me make sure there we go. Let's pull it up. There we go.
老奶奶，别看了，这是咱们村的无人机啊！你不戴口罩就不要出去，不要乱跑，记得赶紧回家。
Now, if you're listening to the audio version, obviously this is in Mandarin, if I'm not mistaken. They're in Inner Mongolia, China. And then at the beginning, the voice from the drone is looking at an older woman, and it says, yes, auntie, this is a drone speaking to you. You shouldn't walk outside without wearing a mask. Yes, you better go back home and wash your hands too. Don't forget that.
回家洗洗手，对吧？
And the lady's kind of like scurrying off, like, and looking back at the drone, kind of scared because that's a little scary to see, you know, this drone talking to you and following you, talking about go home and wear your face mask and all this and that.
对吧？咱们村这么多人都说你都说不住，非得派无人机过来飞你。
It says, you see, people are being told to stay home, but yet you want to wander outside. Now a drone is watching you.
大爷，这是非常时。
This is another one. This is a guy. It appears to be an older gentleman, Inner Mongolia, China. He's out here like in a little snow patch. It's not high snow. It's kind of like on the ground, maybe like 3 or 4 inches of snow. And it says, Uncle, we are in unusual times. Why did you come outside without wearing a mask?
你不戴口罩又往外跑，对吧？那雪过几
The snow will melt itself in a few months, right?
月也能化了，对不对？在家里边待着不舒服吗？对吧？又
Isn't it comfortable to stay at home with food and with drinks?
有吃的又有喝的，刚过了个年，你干嘛老？
Why do you always come outside? You can sort this out in a few days. So I guess the guy's out there trying to like clean up some stuff. I'm not really sure what he's doing, but the drone is telling him to get out, go back, all of that. So that's what China does. China don't care about your rights. Like I said, you don't have any rights. In China, what they were doing at the very beginning of the virus outbreak, what happened? You get welded into your house. People say, oh, we should do what China does to slow the spread. But then when I said, oh, you talking about people getting welded inside of their homes or drug out of their house if they were thought to have it and put into a camp, you know, or put into the little hospital, which is nothing but a penitentiary. Is that what we should be doing to slow the spread? At what point do we place freedom below safety? Okay, I'd rather be less safe if I'm more free. Okay, and then what is safe anyway? If the government is in charge of my safety, what is safety really anyway? I'm hearing from doctors all over the country. They say the best thing to do right now would be to get outdoors because the virus, it can be killed by sunlight. You need the vitamin D for your immune system. Viruses can't really survive outdoors. They're able to survive indoors because of the stale air, all this, that, and the third. But the government people are saying stay inside to slow the spread. Well, now I got other problems. So you're trying to solve one thing and you are creating a bunch of problems with other, you know, in other ways. That's got to stop pronto, ASAP. Yeah, I'd rather be less safe if I'm more free. It's simple because if I'm more free, I'm able to determine my own safety based upon my own actions. I don't need the federal government or local, city, state, whatever to dictate to me how I should keep myself safe. I got my guns, I got my ammo, and I know how to take care of myself. I'm a hygienic person, so let me do that. All you got to do as a government is give me some guidelines that I could follow if I want. Not that I must follow or else I get a fine or thrown to the penitentiary. Tell me how the virus spreads and then tell me what I can do to protect myself. If you say, okay, we suggest you wear a mask, we suggest you don't be in big crowds, you could tell me that, that's fine, but don't make me do it. Don't close down a whole business because you think that's the right thing to do. It's crazy. Yeah, it's surreal. I've been ready, April. I've been ready to go ahead and just move on with the whole situation to get back to normal life. Okay, I've been ready to go ahead and get moving. I'm all about freedom all day long. All right. Well, thank y'all for being here. I definitely appreciate you. If you like what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And if you are listening on an audio streaming platform, I don't know what you could do over there. I guess review it, share it, like it, whatever you could do over there, do that for me. And I'd appreciate you for that as well. That's right, Mark. Mark says ABL, a country boy can't survive. Absolutely correct. 100%. All right. People getting arrested for, not being far enough away from each other. Is that what we're going to do? It's ridiculous. You got criminals getting freed from the penitentiary, right? But then you got regular Joes getting arrested for not being far enough apart, for being outside at a certain time of the day. And when did we create these laws? When did these laws get in the books? I know I didn't sign off on that law to be put onto the books where I live at. Did you sign off on that law that says you can get locked up for not being inside at a certain time of the day? I don't really know. But it is what it is. The cure is worse than the virus. Absolutely. 100%. 1,000%. All righty. But there's a whole lot of stuff going on today. Make it to some more topics. There was one thing I'm going to talk about. Oh, Creepy Joe. Now, the accuser has gone to the police. I forget her name. You guys know her name in the chat. But I've not seen this anywhere in the mainstream media. And if you have seen it in the mainstream media, let me know. But Tara Reid has filed criminal charges against Joe Biden over the sexual assault claim from 1993. Matter of fact, I'm going to put it on the screen right quick so you guys can see the headline. And you can see that it's not an old... Come on, Business Insider. I don't got time for this. All right, there we go. Newsweek, you got it. Here is the headline right on the screen. Joe Biden sexual assault accuser Tara Reid files criminal complaint. This is for 11/20, which is today. This is not an old article. This is not fake news. This is not some kind of right-wing conspiracy theory, this, that, and the third. This is on Newsweek.com. You can see it for yourself. You can Google Joe Biden and Tara Reid criminal complaint. You'll see a variety of different sources. So why is this not in the mainstream media at all? This is the guy that is the Democratic nominee. We could say presumptive. We could say presumed. We could say apparent, whatever. It doesn't make a difference. Nobody else is really running. He's the only guy. All the Democrats have pretty much hitched wagons to him. So he's the guy. He is the horse about to be put out the pasture that's running the Democratic Party right now in the presidential election cycle. So where is the media about this? If it were Donald Trump, then of course it'd be out there. There were no criminal charges filed against Trump, as far as I know. It may have been some civil stuff against him when he was running from some women. But matter of fact, I don't think it was that. I think it was women coming forward talking about we had an affair. Like it might have been 3 women and they all came forward and said we had an affair. I don't know about any sexual assault. It could have been. Anyway, the point is that whatever they say he did, like Stormy Daniels talking about it was an affair, that was in the media for a very long time. Stormy was in the media for years and still is to a certain point in the media for years. Stormy Daniels' lawyer became famous, Michael Avenatti. Now he's famous in the penitentiary. That's a different story, and I'll move on. The point is that you see the obvious media bias. And then when people say, oh, you guys on the right, you're just conspiracy theorists, you're wearing a tinfoil hat, you believe everything is against you, you believe you're a victim. I mean, the proof is in the pudding right here. If we are the same left and right as far as how we get treated in the media, then let's have this particular story get treated the same in the media. How about that? Let's not have there be any kind of discrepancy, any kind of confusion between the two. Let's have them both treated the same, and then we can be on the same page. If not, then I'm not really trying to hear any of the BS. All right, but it could be something that's serious. Now, the question would be, will this go anywhere? Will the criminal allegation turn to a charge? Will he get indicted? Will he go to court? Will he have to go to the penitentiary? People like Joe Biden are kind of untouchable, unfortunately, but we'll see. Is it going to be a campaign distraction? It could be, especially if she ain't the only one if there are more that come out. So that's when it really kind of gets to fever pitch, when it ain't just one person, it's one person over here, a person over there, until you get to Bill Cosby levels, then it becomes a problem with guys that are kind of famous and have money like Joe Biden does. And Joe Biden, the Democrats should be ashamed of themselves anyway. He shouldn't even be out there. This whole thing with the sexual assault allegation from Tara Reid wouldn't even be an issue if the Democrats had a heart. If they had a heart, if they were compassionate, they would not run Joe Biden. Anybody would do. It doesn't really matter who you put in there. You could have put Andrew Yang, you could have put Tulsi Gabbard, whoever, but you sticking with Joe Biden. I guess they think that people, just regular normies, recognize his name the most. They have Barack Obama and Biden kind of linked together still at the hip, although they're not, because he was the vice president for 8 years under Obama. He has the most name recognition. People like him. So then that means you're going to vote for him. But then the campaign ads are going to be so crazy. I mean, the campaign ads write themselves. The Tara Reid story is a campaign ad. All the creepiness. You got guys on YouTube that have created the ads already. All you got to do is just buy it from the YouTuber or license it. Ask if you can use it. Put Trump 2020 on it. Have Trump sign off on it. And the ad is already done. You don't need anybody to come in and do anything. You don't need any kind of video editing team, no research team. We've all done it already. Just put our videos out there to the masses of, Joe Biden creepy moments, Joe Biden's out of mind moments. Put it out there as video. You got your hit piece right there. Simple as that. Now, what will Biden use against Trump to try and attack him? Nothing that's new, as far as I know, but it's going to be crazy. Now, what will be the landslide victory numbers when it comes to Biden versus Trump? I'm thinking it's going to be like Walter Mondale, 1984. Maybe Bernie would have had a better chance, but not really. Bernie has a pretty strong audience, but it's a niche audience. So he may have more enthusiasm. He may be better able to go out there and debate. But when you're talking about translating into votes, it will still not be much more than Joe Biden, if it'd be more at all. He might actually lose some votes. He might win some votes in some particular parts of the country, but not overall as the entire nation. We're talking about trying to get all states, everybody to be on the same page and vote for the same guy. Okay, so it's going to be interesting how that whole thing works out. But again, thank y'all for being here. You guys are fantastic. The best audience anywhere on the whole YouTubes. And let's talk about hydroxychloroquine right quick, because hydroxychloroquine was a controversial drug because the president came out and said it. He came out and said hydroxychloroquine is a drug that's being put into trial right now in New York. There was plenty of success with the drug. It helped a lot of the virus patients make dramatic recoveries. So people, as a result of that, they're still playing the game. They're still saying, oh, well, Trump don't know what he's talking about. You got to have the doctors come in here and say different things, this, that, and the third. So then after that, you had the Arizona couple that went and drunk fish tank cleaner thinking it was hydroxychloroquine when it was not. It was chloroquine phosphate, a whole different compound. And then you got some morons like Michigan's governor, Gretchen Whitlis, whatever you want to call her, who came out and tried to block the actual drug hydroxychloroquine from being distributed. Now, Michigan lawmaker, a black woman, Democrat, came out and said that if Trump did not speak about the drug, she'd probably be dead or in really bad shape right now. She was going through the problems with the virus, shortness of breath, couldn't move around a whole lot. When she was declining in health, she asked her doctor for the drug. Can I get this drug Trump's talking about? Is that in the third? They had to jump through hoops of fire to be able to get it because of what Gretchen Whitmer did to restrict it from people in Michigan. But she finally got the drug, and shortly thereafter, she felt much better and was able to keep on rocking. So where is the actual issue with the drug? It's not an unproven drug. It's been around for a very long time, since World War II. What's the problem? But hey, people, they got to play the game still. They can't act like they can't look at what Trump did with the drug by just saying it, saving lives. They got to talk about the morons in Arizona that took fish tank cleaner and it hurt them. But it is what it is. Oh, let's talk about my man. Yes, hey, yeah, I'm glad you brought it up, NMR 20067. I'm glad you brought it up. Here's what this person said. White liberals are showing what real racists they really are. Attacking Dr. Jerome and calling him Uncle Tom. White liberals calling conservatives blacks Uncle Tom now racist. Yes. Now let's talk about this. Let's talk about the whole abuela and pop thing. I'm glad you brought that up. I almost forgot about it. I almost forgot, but anyway. Okay, Jerome Adams, the Surgeon General of the USA, was at the virus press briefing that Trump always has, like pretty much every day. He's there talking about ways to combat the virus and also addressing the very commonly asked question about why is it hurting minority communities the most. You look in certain places, it's like 30% whites will catch it and die, but then 70% blacks will catch it and die, meaning not 30% of the white population, but 30% of those that catch it will die if you're white, compared to those that catch it, 70% of those may die. That's kind of what I was seeing in some stats. Now, those could be very high numbers, but anyway, he was saying that there are certain things that we have as far as historical issues, just issues in general with the minority communities, Hispanics, blacks, high blood pressure, diabetes, all this, that, and the third. That's something that we all know. Asthma is also a thing that we deal with. And he said that he was not excluded from that. He grew up poor. He grew up black in Indiana. He has asthma. Pull out his inhaler and everything and show it to the whole world. He has high blood pressure, pre-diabetic. He is in the risk group to catch the virus and die. So he was talking about some things that we have because of economics or whatever the case may be, that we're naturally going to be predisposed to because of our condition in the country, just money-wise, really. Then he was also saying how we should stop the drinking and the drugging because that can make the problems worse. Now, people get offended by that. They say, oh, why would you say to black folks to stop drinking and drugging? White folks do it too. Everybody knows that nobody should be drinking and drugging if you want to be healthy. I mean, that's a common sense type of thing. All right. Matter of fact, Mr. Adams put out a smoking cessation order in January, not just to the minority community, but to everybody, all Americans, period. Also, he put out something last year about people smoking weed that are pregnant. You shouldn't do that. So the issue was about minority communities. So he was talking to the minority communities specifically. Then this whole thing came up where people are not really doing social distancing. They're not engaging in the practices to protect themselves from the virus. And he was like, look, if you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for your granddaddy, do it for Pop, do it for your abuela, do it for Big Mama. Now, because he said those phrases, now he's an Uncle Tom, he's a coon, he's a this, he's a that, all kind of things. And when you look to see who's talking about it, it's mostly white liberals on Twitter, blue check white liberals on Twitter. You know, the blue check mafia really got on his back. A lot of people, what's the man's name? Ely Nance, whatever his name is. Oh, Ely Mistel. I saw him at Politicon, a weirdo. Anyway, Soledad O'Brien, Torrey, a lot of these people online, just regular normies, people at home talking about him. Oh, he used the wrong words, all this, that, and the third. Now, he grew up poor, in the hood, black. So what's the problem? These are words that he uses in everyday life. He's not trying to put on or be any kind of way weird. This is just what he talks about. And he's talking about trying to keep yourself healthy and to keep your grandparents and your dad and everybody else healthy. What is wrong with that? People use these terms. People say abuela, they say granddaddy, they say pop, they say what, Meemaw, Big Mama. Okay, where I live at right now, a lot of white folks say Meemaw and pop, you know, grandpappy, all this and that and the third. So was he racist to say that? Was he Uncle Tom to say that when all races say something like that? He was really just being more inclusive. It's weird because, like I said in my video about this, if you're talking about people from the left, they say people on the right don't reach out enough. There's not enough outreach. There's no inclusion. It's all white people. You don't care about minority communities. But then we have a black attorney general, number one. Okay, so you have people in the cabinet that are in very high positions of power, right? Surgeon General is a pretty important thing to be. You got him in there. He gets no credit for that from the left. Okay, number one. Number two, the outreach is there. He was contacted by the NAACP, the Black Nurses Association, to talk to the black community specifically because there was this whole rumor going on that there was some kind of immunity for black folks from the virus. Like, you can't catch it because we're black. Okay, so they reached out to him to say, hey, dispel that rumor, dispel that lie, because it's hurting us. So he went out there and did that and talked straight to the community, which is what was requested of him to do specifically. People were saying that they want him to do it. You got a lot of black organizations. They say they want him to do it. When he goes out there and does it, it's a problem now. All of a sudden, you can't do that. All of a sudden, it's frowned upon when you do that. It's weird. When Barack Obama goes out there and sings Al Green, it's not a problem. It's all good. Attaboy. When Pete Buttigieg goes out there and pretends to drink a 40-ounce of beer with two black guys on television on Showtime, that's fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Hillary Clinton, hot sauce in the bag. Joe Biden with the roaches and the black kids and the hairy legs and all that and the third. Corn pop. So Joe Biden would say corn pop, that's fine. Talking about, oh, he's a bad dude. Corn pop. Like it's from a 1977 blaxploitation movie. You understand what I'm saying? Playing the cop or the landlord or whatever, but I move on. Anyway, all that's fine. All that's dandy. But then when the Surgeon General comes on TV and is trying to save lives, trying to do what he's been asked to do by black organizations specifically, which is his job. Oh, now he's a coon. He's Uncle Thomas. People on the left don't want to really hear from us on the right. It doesn't really matter who says it. It could be a black person. It could be a white person. It could be a Martian. It could be a mole in the ground that learns how to talk. It could be Daffy Duck, Batman, Superman. They don't care. They don't want to hear from us. So if you talk to them on the right, like if you are on the right and talk to them on the left, they'll find some way to attack you. That just is what it is. So yeah. It's a weird thing, but shout out to my man, Dr. Jerome Adams, Surgeon General, for going out there and saying what needed to be said. And really, I think what he said will help because people are going to be aware of what's going on. They have the information, and they'll use that in a way that they would wish. Okay? Because now I got a lot of attention. People are going to hear the controversy about some people getting upset about it, but they'll also hear what he said about washing your hands, social distancing, do it for your grandmama. Oh, okay, cool, I'll do that. Meanwhile, on Twitter, your white liberals in the ivory tower in the sky are going to be butthurt and triggered about it. But at the end of the day, if it helps somebody to be able to have knowledge and take that and use it however they see fit, then mission accomplished. That's his job. People are mad, they're triggered, they're butthurt, they're upset. Who cares? Don't really matter. Oh, well, it is what it is. The AOC say trillions will die. AOC is a moron. I can't wait until the next election. Let's see who runs up against AOC and how well they do and how badly AOC does. AOC is a bad, not just as a person. I don't care about her as a person. You know, if you can get things done, you could be the worst person on planet Earth. Okay, as long as you get things done, you're not doing anything illegal, then go for it. You could be a total, just terrible person, personality-wise, but get the job done. That's all I really care about. You know, when I'm looking at my phones, my devices, things that I use every day, I'm not worried about how bad the person that created it is. Personally, I'm worried about, does it work? Can I use it? Can I make money on it or no? It's simple as that. Nothing else really matters. So that's pretty much how I look at politicians nowadays. Can you get the job done or no? That's pretty much where I'm at. Alrighty. Yeah. Oh, did I talk about the Chinese operative in the White House last time? I think I did, but that was crazy. You have OAN, One America News, right? Conservative station. They had been banned from the White House press briefing room because Chanel Ryan apparently violated social distancing orders because she was in the back of the room when she shouldn't have been there. Although the then press secretary invited her there twice. So what's the problem? She was invited by people that are higher grades than the people that are working in the White House Correspondents Association. Okay, so they should have no say about that. But anyway, they got banned, OAN did, for that particular reason. But rather than bringing them back, apologizing, saying, oh, I'm sorry, we want to have you back. No, they bring in some Chinese operatives, Phoenix TV. And it was crazy to see Trump kind of like question her and see what's going on. Like, okay, what is he a Chinese operative? What's going on? That whole thing was crazy. But that's how the left do. That association that is running the White House for journalists, they are pretty much all on the left. All of them. There's nobody really on the right. And if they are on the right, they're going to be overpowered by those on the left. So you see what they're all about. They're trying to exclude, quote unquote, right-wing media, or fair media, as I like to call it, and include Chinese spies. What are we really doing? Who's working for who? We know where the virus came from, China, the Chinese government trying to cover it up. But then you want to bring in Chinese operatives, you might as well just bring in Xi Jinping himself, put him right in the front, and have him talk to Trump the whole time. I mean, you might as well do that. It's the same thing. But hey, it is what it is. Shout out to the super chatters right quick. I'm going to get to those, and I'm going to get to some more topics. Thank you to Charles Turner Jr., who says ABL, so-called journalists like Yamiche Sender, are really infected with Trump derangement syndrome, a.k.a. TDS. Jericho Green is right when he says TDS is terminal. They're only digging their own grades further. I'm right there with you on that, man. Thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. I'm with you on that 100%. Thank you to Darren Buchanan, who says hashtag Blexit. You already know, man. Thank you for your donation. I appreciate you, boss. Thank you to Miss Anthropic One, who says ABL, this is scary. I live close to Elizabeth, New Jersey. Big Brother is coming to America. Drones, their microchips and vaccines. I'm going to move to DR or Colombia, depending upon how further it gets. Love you, bro. Be safe. Hey, man, thank you for that. I definitely appreciate you. And it's scary. And, you know, the scarier part is people that are just accepting it blindly, like it ain't nothing wrong with it. Like, yeah, they could put a drone in the sky and tell me to go home, tell me to do whatever it wants. And if I don't, they're going to find me. People are really wanting that. And also people are telling on their neighbors. I'm seeing all kind of letters written to people talking about, oh, you leaving your house too much. I called the police on you. This is how the Holocaust happened. This is how communist regimes are propped up, because people are encouraged to turn against their neighbor. And people will do it when they're desperate. You know, there's no jobs out there. Everything's closed down. Well, it's some jobs, but some jobs aren't out there. People are out of work. They need money. So if you're given a financial incentive to tell on your neighbor and you need it, it's easy to control people. And it's really scary how it is. But thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to my man, Charles Turner Jr., who says, ABL censored video on Tuesday regarding cities that are allowing plastic bags once again. Is it interesting to note how many SJWs have not been vocal for a while, such as Black Lives Matter, feminazis, etc.? Yeah. They're not getting as much airtime because the virus taking up all the airtime, and they can't really be out there protesting and whatnot. There are no grievances to be had because everybody's inside. I mean, I'm seeing some grievances about the virus and the black community talking about, oh, well, the reason why it's affecting us is because we don't have access to healthcare and white supremacy. It's all BS. The issue with black folks and or minority communities, quote unquote, having an issue with the virus is because of our choices that we make. You're drinking, drugging, eating the wrong food. That's really what's going on. Okay. Now, there may be some issues with poverty and whatnot, but if you are having issues with the virus because of obesity, or, you know, you smoking weed and stuff like that, you could control that. How about don't eat so much? It is what it is. Shout out to Draco and Kodak, who says, keep it up, ABL watching from quarantine, South Florida. Hey, shout out to you, man. Thank you for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Fred Stewart for becoming an ABL supporter, a member of the squad. Alrighty. Shout out to Max Dominguez who said, thank you again, ABL. Always look forward to being here. God bless America. And thank you for your donation, man. Definitely appreciate you. Boston right there with you. Shout out to Demented Liquor who says, the drones are the start of the Skynet to keep us in line. Yeah, I mean, it's here. It's here. And I feel like people are using this whole tragedy and they're not letting it go to waste. They're implementing certain things they say are temporary. Just for right now when we're dealing with the virus, but then they remain after the virus is over with because people say they like it, it's more convenient. It'll be here. But hopefully we can fight against it. Shout out to Noreen Ryan who says, your input is invaluable during this crazy time. I'm tired of this madness. Hey, I'm right there with you. I'm sick of it. I done had enough. I don't want this to continue any further. I'm ready to go back to my normal life and just live like normal. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to Miriam Vidal who says, can I postpone turning 50 tomorrow due to the coronavirus? Asking for a friend. Well, I wish you could, but you have a great birthday, Easter Sunday. Happy birthday to you. Early, 50th birthday. It's going to be a milestone. You know, I'm glad you're here hanging out with us for a little bit, letting us sharing your special time. Happy birthday yet again. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to Brian Nolan who says, let's show our love to ABL by tipping them. You can all do it. Come on, you bums. Just click super chat now. I didn't call you bums, but shout out to my man Brian for the donation. I definitely appreciate him. Shout out to Marie Stark for your emoji super chat. I appreciate that. Shout out to Claudia Dawkins for the emoji super chat that says thank you. Well, thank you for your donation and your very kind words. It's a whole lot going on. I would like to read. I'm going to get to a few more super chats and I get to the calls. Shout out to Ero Burns Marsh who says states ban seed sales. Solomon would be proud. Hashtag we're all Ukrainians now. That's crazy. Thank you to Nippon who says the DNC are not a political party. They're a mafia. Wow, that's deep. That's real deep right there. Shout out to Santo Bartez who says if the Surgeon General spoke clinically, then the left would say he's condescending and being too white. Left hate mob always play the victim. Very well said. I'm right there with you. If he was to use all kind of clinical terms we don't understand, oh, you're being too uppity, you're being too white, you're condescending, you're not being relatable. But when he's relatable and talks in a normal way, he talks at home, then he's being Uncle Tom and he's cooning and buffooning and making a mockery of the whole situation. He's not being professional. It's weird. Like I said, they don't want to hear from us really. They just want to shut us down and they'll find excuses to say that we're not saying the right thing. But if you're on the left and do something like that, if you say pop and meemaw and whatnot on the left, then it's fine. They won't care at all. It's like with Joe Biden and the whole sexual assault allegation. That's not on the media anywhere. Nobody cares. Ain't nobody covering it because you could be on the left and do whatever you want. You can kill people, Hillary Clinton. I ain't say that, but anyway, we'll move on. Shout out to Greatness81 who says, I thought the Nazis were defeated in World War II. That's what I thought as well, but I can't tell what's going on anymore. Thank you for that. Shout out to Colette who says, Dr. Anthony Fauci has spoken about the way President Trump and his administration has been handling the severity of the coronavirus. Many were wondering whether the doctor has changed and defends Jerome Adams. Fauci is kind of hot and cold to me. I'm not really a big fan because my thing is let's not induce panic and let's not keep the country closed forever. We got to get back to work. But thank you for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Joshua Perez who says Bill Gates is a snake and don't believe in the death numbers. Yeah, all that's fake. The death numbers, I mean, the Chinese numbers, that's fake, obviously. And then in America, they're talking about, oh, well, we got 18,000, 19,000, 20,000 deaths. Meanwhile, Dr. Burks came on TV and said that if you die and have the virus, you'll be counted as a coronavirus death, even if you didn't die necessarily from the virus. So you can get shot in your head 1,000 times, and then they'll say, cause of death, coronavirus. You understand what I'm saying? That's pretty much where we're going. I'm exaggerating, but at the same time, I'm really not. But thank you for your donation, Josh. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you to El Michelle, who says, if you're getting a check from our president, guess what? He's now your president. Thank you for that, El Michelle. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Joshua Perez, who says, also, no mass shootings. Hashtag guns are not the problem. There you go. We got a quote-unquote stockpile of guns. Everybody went to go get guns in a mad rush. Gun stores sold out, but ain't nobody getting shot. I wonder why. Well, ain't no mass shootings like an abnormal thing. But thank you for your donation. Shout out to Joshua Perez, who says, people that love it always vote DNC. I'm right there with you. Shout out to Joseph Cheeseman, who says, I feel like he would have said this in the 70s or 80s, it wouldn't have been a big deal. Nah, if he would have said it, talking about Jerome Adams, if he would have said it in like now under a different president, it would have been totally fine. It is what it is. Okay. Shout out to, let me see where I'm at. You guys are being great tonight. Thank y'all for the super chats. I appreciate it. They're coming in fast and furious. Shout out to Colette, who says Dr. Anthony Fauci has spoken about the way. Okay, I already saw that one. Charles Hunter Jr. says Joe Biden, quote, poor kids just as smart as white kids. Don't forget, went to 7-Eleven in Delaware with a slight Indian accent. Yeah, see, Joe Biden used to have gaffes. He would say things that were kind of inappropriate, a little bit, quote unquote, offensive. People would get mad about that. But now he's forgetting what he wants to say. So he can't even make gaffes because he's not even really in the right mind to make a gaffe. He can't get to the point of making the gaffe because he's so far gone. It is what it is. Shout out to Zorro. I see that right there. Zorro says, you're right on, Anthony Brian Logan. If someone gets hit by a bus and is found to have CV-19 in an autopsy, then they'll list CV-19 as one that causes a death. Exactly. And then they'll count that in the total number. People die every day, and they may have been exposed to the virus. That don't mean they died from the virus, but we're going to keep going down this whole thing and make up numbers as we see fit. Thank you to Snapzilla Gorilla, who says, this whole thing is nonsense. Why is Trump allowing the COVID task force and the CDC to inflate their numbers? I need to know what you think. Well, what can Trump really do? From my point of view, he can only go based upon what the experts say. He might not like what's going on. I remember when the thing first started, he was like, look, we can't just close the country. This is kind of crazy. But it's like, what else do? You kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place because all the experts are saying one particular thing. So I think that the guidelines will be lifted at the end of April, which is still long, but it's better than having it be June, July, or whatever, like some may want it to be. So it is what it is. Colette says, ABL, I want to go back to work. Please. I feel you. I really do. I want to get back to normal life. I want to get back to what we used to do. I want to go to a restaurant. I want to just be able to live. I want to go to Walmart whenever I want to go. I don't want to go through no checkpoint and have my temperature taken. I'm exaggerating, but you understand what I'm saying. Walmart is crazy. Everywhere is crazy. I want people to get their jobs back. I don't want there to be a depression. I want to get back to normal. And it's crazy because it's not like it's something that we did that made this whole thing happen. This is, the Chinese government and then the overreaction from our own governments locally. Federally, they're giving you guidelines. And some were trying to say that he shut the whole nation down from the federal level. That'd be crazy. Trump's just saying, here are the guidelines. You should do it to slow the spread. And then some states are saying, okay, we're going to have guidelines that you must follow. And also, you can't leave your house, quarantine, curfew. It's like, what? What are we doing? Too much going on. It's like you need a haircut, Norm J. See, me, I can just cut my own hair, whatever. I could do what I want. That's an old trick I learned back in the day when I was kind of like having no money and couldn't afford haircuts. So, yeah, shout out to everybody who needs a haircut. I know it's rough. You got some guys out here looking like Teen Wolf, Michael J. Fox, 1987. You understand what I'm saying? But it is what it is. It comes from China. China is a-hole. We already know what it is. It comes from China all day long. Yeah, I can't get a McDonald's smoothie. And, I want to go into fast food restaurants. Like, I never go through the drive-thru. I despise the drive-thru because, number one, I want to be in the restaurant, check my food right there. If it's wrong, I want to be able to get it fixed. And when I go in, it's usually faster. I can get my food right there. I can see what's going on. I don't got to be in Milano in my car. And then also, I like to get my drink from the fountain if I get a fountain drink. Get my little sweet tea. I get like mostly unsweet tea, then put a thin layer of sweet tea on top, and then I'm golden. I don't want to be totally just a can of sugar, but I want like a little bit of sugar in there just for a little taste. I don't want to put sweeteners in there and do all that with, some unsweet tea from Zaxby's or something, but I want to mix it up just right. I want to go back. I want to have my normal routine. I don't want to be in little checkpoints and whatnot. I went to Panda Express. They got the whole thing blocked off. There's chairs everywhere. I'm like, man, this is crazy. Where am I at right now? Am I in World War II Germany. What's happening? It's a whole big mess. But thank y'all for being here. We got 1,000 in the building. Like the video if you like what you're hearing so far. Share the video as well. And if you're listening on an audio streaming platform, I guess you can review over there. I'm not sure what you can actually do, but do whatever you can. I'd greatly appreciate it. Yeah, give me a little bit of sweet tea. Just a little bit of sweet tea with the that's all I want. I don't want nothing else. I want basic things. I don't want the world, just little things. That's all. Why is that so much to ask? I don't really know. Yeah, I put a little sweet tea bones out. That's right, AB, all day long. Yeah, everywhere is drive-thru, can't go nowhere. It's crazy. I would not be a hippie. Nah, I'm good money. Not at all. All right. Shout out to Marie Stark for your emoji with the ha-has. I appreciate it. Shout out to Charles Turner Jr. who says ABL Chick-fil-A, one of your favorites. I like Chick-fil-A. Matter of fact, I went there today, for breakfast. I go through the drive-thru. I hate that. I like in the morning for breakfast, get my chicken biscuits, getting out of my car, going inside and getting it. And I don't want no DoorDash or nothing like that because you might be in there with pit bulls in the back seat, nibbling on my chicken sandwich, you smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, smoking crack. I ain't trying to have all them impurities in my food now. You understand what I'm saying? I want to get it straight from the back into my hand. I don't want to be outside in the elements when you going through the window. I want it just straight from the person at the counter to me. I don't want no intermediaries or nothing like that. I'm so crazy that I go pick up pizza and put it in my trunk. I'm that guy that does that. You understand what I'm saying? But I'll move on. Let's get to some more calls, or some calls to begin with. We ain't took calls yet. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Give me a moment to set it up because Skype wants to act up as always. Let's see if it'll load up quickly, slowly, or whatever the case may be. Also, while you're here, go to my website. How about that? I have a website I kind of revamped a little bit, and I'm continuously revamping it. AnthonyBlogan.com. I have original articles on there and, content information, my newsletter, all that good stuff. Yeah, but I don't want you to be smoking cocaine in the car where you got my Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets in the back. That's what I don't want at all. You got to tighten it up for sure. Okay, I'm going to put slow-mo on the chat just so that we can have a little bit of a easier time seeing what's happening, but it won't be that slow. So y'all just be noticing that if you can't type more than once in 30 seconds, that's what it is. I may take it off if I don't need it, but for now, I'll put slow mode on just so everybody can see what's going on in the chat and it's not going too fast. Alrighty. Let's get to the nipping what's going on. Nah, I feel you. Yeah, more lockdown. Yeah.
Way. Sorry, it's either their way or the highway.
Right.
Yeah, do you see what I meant?
Yeah, I see what you meant. I'm sorry, but at first, the people didn't hear you at first because I had that sound off by accident, but I heard what you were saying.
Okay. Yeah, so Jerome Adams got attacked by Democrats.
Yeah, he did.
Why am I not surprised for using the term Big Mama and Pop Pop? Oh God, now they're gonna call him, oh, he's an Uncle Tom, he's a coon.
Yeah, of course, that's what they always do.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay if they say it on the left, but it's a crime if we say it.
I mean, they can say whatever they want to on the left, and there's no problem. They can say, that's like I told you about in the video I did about this whole thing. Bill Clinton played a saxophone on Arsenio Hall. Arsenio Hall was a black talk show host in the 90s. He played a saxophone, and that's fine. Barack Obama saying Al Green, that's fine. You could do whatever you want if you're on the left, but if you're on the right, you can't do anything.
Wait, what's wrong with playing the saxophone?
Huh?
What's wrong with playing the saxophone?
Because he did it on
He's good at playing music.
No, because he did it on a black show, so it was like he was in front of a black audience, and it was like, oh, I'm a super cool guy. I can relate to the black community. If it were Trump doing something like that, then he would be considered somehow racist for trying to appeal to black folks. That's how they think. Like, it doesn't make any sense to say something's wrong with it because it's a saxophone, it's an instrument. But you got to understand how the SJW, how the left think.
Yeah, that's true. Now, a Democrat gets saved by that dodgy virus drug.
Yeah, I mean, people are saying that is, it's unproven and something that you shouldn't really be doing. But the virus drug apparently worked pretty well. It saved their life, so I don't really see the issue.
So yeah, like I've always said, I've never had a problem with someone who has different political views to I do. I know someone who hates Trump. He knows that I'm a Trump supporter, and he doesn't care. He says, fine. Me and him are never going to see eye to eye. But he doesn't hate me for it. I don't hate him for it.
Right. No doubt.
So yeah, that's one thing. The other thing is that, I've never had problems with liberals in general, but I do have problems with people who abuse me for the way I think. And
right.
Unfortunately, a lot of them are liberals.
Nah, I feel you. I'm right there with you, 100%. I mean, people should just be able to have different opinions and get along that way, rather than having everything be a fight or a war because you think differently than they do.
It's tribalism.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, and drones have now been used to enforce laws.
Yeah. Now they're doing this in New Jersey, where they got a police drone. It'll have sirens and everything. It'll pull up on you, and if you're not quote unquote social distancing, then it'll say, hey, you got to disperse, you got to go home, and it could also give you, or the police will give you a fine, like $1,000 fine for not, obeying some of the lockdown orders, which is crazy.
Well, they're doing that here as well in the UK.
Well, are they using drones, or are they just giving you fines for not obeying the orders?
On the spot fines.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll bring that up for you on screen share. But yeah, they're being really strict on these social distancing things.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, start sharing. Yeah, can you see?
Yeah, I can see, but we got limited. We can't really.
So what they did was they're issuing on-the-spot fines for people not social distancing.
Okay, I take your word for it. Don't pull up the article because we don't got that much time.
Okay, so yeah, look, like over here, for example, it shows. Do you see this?
I can see it.
So yeah, £30 fine for people breaking the rules.
Right, I got you.
So yeah, this has become basically, it's not going to last for long because the coronavirus isn't going to be around forever. This is basically communism. There's no other way to put it.
Right.
So yeah, that's that.
Well, I'm right there with you. But hey, we got more calls on the line, so I got to get to a few more.
So yeah, it was nice speaking to you, ABL.
Oh, definitely, man. Always.
Yeah, I shall speak to you. Today's Sunday, right? Well, Sunday here. But
It's Saturday over here, yeah.
Yeah, I shall speak to you on Wednesday.
Gotcha.
Peace.
Peace. Why the phone lines are blowing up and try to get to everybody as soon as I can. You guys on the drill. And if you don't, the number to call is 434-658-120. Again, 434-658-1220. If you want to do Skype like Nippin did just now, you can be right here in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. There is an email for that in the description box below. Right up under this video, click on the Show More button. You should be able to see everything that comes up. You got all kind of links and whatnot. The Skype email should be right there. Use that to add me on Skype. You can be right there talking through that way. But let's get to some more calls. And let's go 540. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Michael from Ladysmith Village in Virginia, not too far from you.
All righty. What's going on?
Hey, I got a couple questions for you. One, kind of getting back to the stimulus package that they were doing. I know it's an old topic. We're talking about new things right now, which I'll ask you one in a minute. But what people who have bills like house payments, credit card payments, debts, and all that, are people doing anything for these people who can't afford, their house payments and stuff because they're not at work that you know of?
Well, I saw a commercial today from Rocket Mortgage, and they said if you got problems with your mortgage and you having a problem with paying it, they may help you out with it. So I guess like certain banks and certain companies are going to be doing things like that. Also, certain insurance companies do things. I think Allstate, they're going to be doing things to help. I got an email from my insurance company. They said they're going to do things to help as far as like taking some money off of the bill, not off of the bill, actually off of the next renewal. So they take like a percentage off of your total cost for your renewal. So certain companies are doing things to help people that are having a hard time paying. And of course, you got the government coming out with the money situation for people, just straight cash. And then if you have a small business, they're going to help you with that. There's certain loans available. But I think the main thing will be from some of the companies that have financial products to help you with that.
Okay. One last question, if you don't mind me. This Jerome thing you were talking about earlier today, which I find very interesting. Just curiosity, but wouldn't that kind of be a good idea to do in like big cities such as New York, Chicago, to help decrease the amount of drugs and violence that goes on in the cities? Instead of sending police officers there, they would actually use the drones to do that. I mean, is that an idea?
Well, that's not really going to do much, in my opinion, because, I mean, people are in their houses. I mean, and then you got the privacy violation. That's one thing, because you got people that are out there using and selling drugs. Those are the minority. You got regular everyday Joes just going to and from work that have their privacy violated. So, it kind of goes into the whole thing like stop and frisk. I'm not necessarily against stop and frisk, but it's almost worse than that, because now you have no privacy. It's one thing to just roll up on somebody and stop them and frisk them. It's something else to just have a drone roll up on you and then take pictures of you. It don't matter what you're doing, recording you. It's like the whole thing with the Alexa devices in the house. When they said, oh, no, we're not recording you, we're not taking any kind of information. Meanwhile, you had engineers recording it, selling information, all kind of stuff. So I think that could be one next step of a privacy violation, and then it just kind of goes downhill from there. So I'm not a big fan of that. I think what you can do to stop the drugs and the violence is to lock people up that get caught doing it, because the problem is that a lot of these guys are repeat offenders. They go into jail, go for a little while, and come right back out and do the same thing over and over again. Attack the criminals rather than the regular, everyday, law-abiding person.
Right, but if you did that for the criminals only and not worry about what your normal average day Joe is doing, but do it for the purpose of the criminals, does that make sense?
Well, how do you...
They've already given away their rights. They've already broken laws and stuff like that. So, in my opinion, you've already given up your freedom. So, who cares? Because you're killing people, you're sell drugs and you know what other things go on. I don't really want to say it on the radio.
No, I understand, but it's like
you're disqualified now.
I understand what you're saying, but how did you just isolate it to one kind of person? Because where these people live, you're going to have other people that are there as well. So I feel like you're going to be violating their privacy to just catch the one person. What you got to do when you get that one person locked up, don't give them no light slap on the wrist for selling drugs, shooting people, endangering the community. That's the real issue with these problems is the gangs that are allowed to pretty much just roam free and nobody does anything to stop them. That's the issue, because it ain't hard to catch them, really. A lot of them are pretty dumb in what they do. They're sloppy. They're not like super high tech organizations. We ain't talking about Mexican mafia or nothing like that. We're talking about just gangbangers on the street committing violence all the time that get light sentences because the judge goes easy on them because they don't want to be racist. That's the problem.
Okay, well, I thought it was an idea of something to do, because
I understand what you're saying.
The drone thing is instead of sending policemen and women out there risking their lives to take care of these sort of things, you would use drones to, help investigate. But I understand the privacy that you're talking about as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I wanted to do, and I'll continue to listen to you.
All right. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
No problem, man.
All right. Shout out to the caller. But yeah, shout out to James Censor, who says people getting out of jail. And exactly, that's the thing with this whole virus. They want to use it as an excuse to let people out of jail. They let some out, but not everybody. People are letting out. You got predators coming out, sexual predators coming out, people that, gangbangers, known repeat offenders coming out, and then they go out and do the same thing over and over again. People that should not be out of jail. Not those who've been in jail since like the 90s on a weed violation or a crack violation. I'm talking about those that got locked up recently on a violent crime or getting let go because of COVID-19. Stupid stuff. But anyway, the number to call is 434-658-1220. Let me get to the next call. Let's go. 323, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yo, what's up, ABL? Snapzilla Gorilla, man.
Everything's good. Everything's good, man. What's happening?
Oh, man, the tyranny is ramping up, ain't it?
Yeah, it's up there.
Ramping up. Did you hear about that young woman? She's a doctor in Florida who is handling COVID patients. Did you know she had her daughter taken away because she's being exposed to this so-called COVID-19 thing? So
no, I didn't.
She's working. She's working in the hospital, and her baby daddy, right, because they're divorced, went to court to have her daughter taken away because she's now a danger to her daughter because she treats COVID-19 patients.
Wow.
Yeah. This is what you call the slippery slope. So some people might think, that's practical because, because she can expose her daughter to COVID-19. But how many children are dying from COVID-19?
Not very many.
Not very many. Not to say a child should just get COVID-19, but if a child is exposed to COVID-19 and they have a very low chance of even having symptoms, they can build an immunity to it. And then maybe when they're an adult or later on in life, if it comes back, they have a greater chance of fighting it off, even if it mutates. Even if it mutates, the body will still recognize some of it. They'll have antibodies. So why would you take the child away from a mother who wants to treat and stand by the Hippocratic oath to do no harm and to treat people no matter what? Now she has to choose. Okay, I can continue to treat patients, or I can be with my daughter. How do you make a choice like that? I know what I would do. I would just, you know what? I'm going home. But, what if every doctor does that now who has a child? You see the precedent that's being set?
Right, yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous, So, and the whole thing is, what about every other disease that doctors are exposed to? Doctors that just not be able to have children because they treat sick patients? Like, where does it stop? Where does it stop? What do you think about that, man? That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. That's really crazy. And I feel like right now people are just allowing things to happen because they're so scared. They're so scared of the virus. They don't care about their own rights. And that's what people want.
Man.
They want you to be scared. They want you to feel like you have no other choice than to let the state do whatever they want. So, you know, I'm definitely on your side. I think we should have some government, but they should be small. They shouldn't be in our lives and intrusive like this. They should be small to where we don't even really notice them. Not to the point where they're coming into our house and stealing our kids from us because we're out here. And then the thing about it is she's doing the service to the community, risking her life to help save people, and you get punished for that. That's crazy.
Crazy. And I like that you said the thing about the small government. You know how I feel. You know, I don't like government at all. But there is a place to start. And I was actually on Brandon Tatum's live one time, and I mentioned to him, I said, we should decentralize the government and go back to sovereign states, at least to start, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every state is sovereign, and if you don't like what's going on in one state, move to another state that's more to your life. You know, that's basically how I think it could work. And, you know, he was kind of, you know, like with that a little bit because Trump signed the stimulus package with all that extra fluff in it, and he was very disappointed.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, man, I mean, so this is my thing, man. I know you guys believe in Trump, right? And I know you guys think there's a deep state. I believe that there's a deep state. And let's say I give Trump the benefit of the doubt. If Trump is indeed out, if he's against the deep state, you know how entrenched these people are, how much of a foothold they have in the system, in the banking system, the central banks and all that. Even if he is on our side, he's going to have a very hard time making things happen. And we need to start looking inward towards ourselves to break free of this deep state. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, we have to be more reliant on ourselves and each other because we down here, he's up there. Once you get in there, once you get in those walls and get behind those curtains and start being exposed to certain things, man, I mean, we have no idea what he's up against. And as you know, his own COVID-19 task force is pushing a bunch of BS right next to him, right in front of him. And what can he do? Like you said, if he's on the right side, what can he do? I mean, I don't know, man. It's frustrating. I'm getting tired of these infringements. I'm kind of glad this is happening during this time because people can actually see what their government, what the people they elect, what they're capable of. You know what I mean? These governors, especially the mayors and governors, oh man, they're having a great time putting out these executive orders and, you know, just taking full control over everyone's lives. So, I don't know, man. That's all I got for now, man. I just hope we all just wake up and understand that we have to stop depending on the people up there to do anything for us, even if they want to. They're going to be hogtied for the most part. So we have to start doing things for ourselves. And that's all I got for now, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, man. Peace out.
Peace. Yeah, shout out to my man, Sam's Little Gorilla. What he said was correct. We can't just rely upon the government and do everything for us. Okay, we can go out there and vote, and that's fine. But at a certain point, we got to be citizens and do things we got to do, too. We got to take a lot of our power into our own hands and do things. Now, don't get it. I ain't talking about no type of, incursion or nothing like that. But we have to do things on our own. We can't just rely upon the government and do everything for us. We have power. We have rights. Exercise the rights. Exercise your power. Don't just take whatever the government wants to give you. Stand up against it. Simple as that. All right. Let's get to the next call. 702, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, Mr. Logan. This is a Red Pill Barista.
All righty, man. What's going on?
How are you doing tonight?
Well, I can't complain.
Well, I'm sitting here in San Francisco with a beer in one hand and nothing else in the other. And I have thoughts tonight. Let me tell you, Mr. Logan, let me start out by saying this. I know a good friend who is a Mexican guy in San Francisco, hard worker, a good guy, but he's telling me, you know how that carpet cleaner over in Chicago, the mayor, is proposing now to give illegal aliens money?
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Well, let me tell you something about that woman. She's an idiot, and let me tell you why. Yeah, but besides, hey, before I go on, do you ever notice that her skull is so thick and large that it looks like she can crack planets with it? She's got a thick head. It looks like the thing from Aliens. It's disgusting. Well, let me tell you what happened anyway. This guy's telling me in Illinois, his friends are getting together to scam the system. And you know the con? They have 5 different names that they go by. Do you know that they hyphenate the names? This, that, this. Well, what they're doing is they're reapplying for the illegal alien money. That's what they're going to do, and they're going to get it 2, 3, and 4 times, and they're laughing about it. And who's paying for it? The taxpayer. This is disgusting, and nobody has no accountability for it. What's the matter with her? Who's she going to give it to? Juicy Smollett's lovers? There's about 16 of them in Chicago. I'll tell you something else. I'm sick of this, and I told the guy, I said, don't you guys have any conscience? Don't they have conscience? He says, why? This is America. Once you get in, everything's free. Do you believe the hubris? Now let me tell, and I'm sick about that. Let me tell you something else now about the Surgeon General. It is disgusting what they're doing to that man. Can any African American man have intelligence and not be called an Uncle Tom and other disgusting words? Look what happens to Clarence Thomas. Look what happens to every African American who, by the way, happens to be conservative. He gets called all sorts of racist names. And yes, Uncle Tom is racist. If a white man or another person uttered that, they would be ostracized, and rightly so. But no, not these liberals. What they do is they go around and every African American man, and let me tell you, Mr. Logan, can I ask you, have you encountered that yourself?
Encounter what?
Being called Uncle Tom and other things because you're a conservative.
Oh, all the time, every day.
That is disgusting. The Surgeon General, just like Ben Carson, that man is a neurosurgeon. The Surgeon General is a top doctor, and they call people racist names because they don't toe the line. Let me tell you, it's nauseous. It is disgusting. And now about the Me Too movement. Now let me ask you another question, Mr. Logan. Do you ever call out conservatives as well as liberals when they don't do something correct?
Yes.
You do. Very good. Because there's a lot of knuckleheads on the other side. Now the conservatives, and I'm going to call them out, now they're going, get after Joe, get after Joe. It's a 30-year allegation. It's like Brett Kavanaugh. You can't do this. And yet, Melissa Milano, do you ever see that woman? If her and Cortez, the one from Queens, if they ever got together and have a love child, it'd be Melissa Milano and Cortez. They look like twins. They're nauseous. You ever see the horse teeth on them? My God, if they ever had a baby, it'd be running the Kentucky Derby. They are nauseous, those two women. And the Melissa Milano, did you see when she comes out and says, you got to now have due process? Oh, boy, due process. I wonder how that worked out when Brett Kavanaugh was getting roasted and Melissa Milano was sitting back there in the audience with signs saying that he was guilty and believe all women. What a bunch. See, that's why the Me Too movement is dying. It is almost dead now. Thank God. Men have been under siege for 2 years because of that Me Too movement. But now that the hypocrisy is showing, thank God that is getting out. You have to, I'll tell you something, Joe Biden, he's a hair sniffer. He gropes kids. He is a disgusting old man. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't even know what he is. And now I'll tell you, but what are you going to do? 30 years ago? I mean, what's next? Is Betsy Ross going to call out George Washington for sexual harassment? Well, I mean, when is it going to end? You can't do this. And if you're going to do that with Brett Kavanaugh, you got to do it with everybody. So I say this, let Joe Biden fall in the election on his own, because he'll get a stroke the day after he loses, and we'll be rid of him anyway. Just like Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders drops out, people say, oh, I'm shocked, the Bernie bros. What Bernie bros? A 20-year-old millennial that's hanging out in some Dairy Queen on a skateboard? Who cares? Let me tell you, Bernie Sanders is a non-relevant man. He's 80 years old. He almost had a heart attack. He's finished. Now, let me tell you one thing. If Donald Trump, the only thing, and I want to get your opinion on this, the only thing that can hurt Donald Trump and right now is if he opens up the country a little soon and the coronavirus reappears. Do you think that could be a possibility to hurt him in the election?
Nah, I don't think so, because I think most people are over it and they understand the risks that are involved with it. And also people are doing the whole social distancing and hand washing. So I think that we're not going to see a big spark. And I think he'll be all right.
Well, it might be all right, but I'll tell you something. I like it this way. Now the ducks are out, the antelopes are walking around San Francisco instead of the queens and queens. Now we got animals walking the street 100 times better, and it's all right by me. Personally, I don't think the coronavirus really hurts society that bad. I know you like sports, but let me tell you something. Sports isn't the apex of society. We have other things that we got to worry about. Who cares if some $40 million a year guy has a job? Let him go without for a little while. The kids aren't getting educated. Who cares? Mr. Logan, do you honestly think that kids get educated now in the schools? We're a dumbass nation. We got one of the dumbest populations in the world. We're 17th in science. We're 20th in reading. We are so far behind the rest of the world. And why? Maybe because its teachers don't get more money. Ha! They're already out for 3 months out of the year. What do you want them to do? What we have to do is reform things in this country. You know, I can go on, and I know people appreciate me, and I love them out there, and I think you're a good guy. But let me tell you the last thing I want to say. I was watching a skateboard boy with the beanie cap on, and he has a podcast on with this guy that looks like Jesus. And I'll tell you something. That guy was kissing butt so much to the skateboard guy that I wanted to reach through the tube and give him a hug. Boy, I'll tell you, he should ask for reparations because it's like slavery. Well, I want to say good night, Mr. Logan. Good night, America. And if you ever want to crack a beer, Pocahontas is there in in Massachusetts. I know, you know, they got Ilya and Omar, the brother from another lover is over there. But good night from San Francisco, where when we reopen up, we'll have the swishing commencing. Good night, Mr. Logan.
Thanks for the call. My man just, you know, he just take it away. All I got to do for my man, Red Pill Barista, all I got to do is just let him get on, give him a little bit of poke, boom, and he just take it from there. So shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And you guys on the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Let me get to the next call here. All right, caller. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yeah. I'm talking to you, sir.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's ABL Live.
Hey, you're on live, sir. So what's happening, man?
Am I?
It's going to be delayed, so don't look at the stream. Just talk to me just now through Skype.
I'm trying to find the button here. I'm like, well, let me block this out. I don't want my face on no TV. I don't look great right now.
Okay, man.
I'm shocked.
You're good. You're good. So what's going on, man? I can hear you fine.
Well, I'm too in shock to make any sense. I'm sorry. I didn't know I was going to get on like this. Basically, I'm really scared about the state of affairs. I'm very fearful. Benjamin Franklin used to say something, and I have to paraphrase. He used to say, "Those who give up their freedom or privacy in exchange for convenience are going to lose." I have to paraphrase. They're going to lose basically the liberties and freedoms. And over here, we're losing our freedom of assembly, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. And Trudeau said, if you I heard over there he was saying that if you don't actually take the only way out is to take a vaccination. To me, that's very scary. If you can't buy or sell without a vaccination, if there are RFID chips in that, and you got Jones tracing you around, or the falsehood of safety, like in that show, what's it called? Jessica Alba, Dark Angel. It's like we're in some sort of a communist state under the falsehood of safety. It's quite scary, ABL.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not doing a very good job. I'm sorry. I was totally caught off guard.
Nah, I'm with you, man.
I love your show.
All right. Go ahead.
I don't know why some people repel the truth. They get angry. You're met with resistance. You're met with hatred or denial. It's like they'll vote for someone to lie to them, steal their liberties and freedoms, and little do they realize these are the precursors right before the big drop on us. This is the precursor. If you study history, ask my teacher, what's the purpose of your course? Prove anything practical in our life? He said, you'll detect human pattern, human cycles. You'll see all the precursors and the telltale signs. If you're educated, you'll see what's coming before it gets there. And I'm seeing this is like totalitarianism. Anytime the dog is wagging the tail, that's all right. But when the tail is wagging the dog, in other words, if the majority of people are not being heard and we're not being truly represented for our own good and what we ask for, it's a majority of power in the hands of the few people that are in the government. No disrespect to any good ones out there, but it's really backwards when the tail is wagging the dog instead of the other way around. And a lot of people, we were taught in history from my law teacher, she said, the enemy always comes to us under the falsehood of safety. We're here to help you. We're the government. We're here to save you. I don't feel too safe right now because in Canada, it's obvious our economy was on false legs and that we're overcrowded. Charity starts at home, but instead Trudeau, Two-Face, he's all interested in God, I'm freezing up here for some reason. I usually don't freeze up. He was last week. He was trying to get endless amount of spending and gouge, and say under the hood of safety, I want endless spending till next year's summer. But yet, apparently, according to Rebel News, he still has people coming in here who are sick, and he wants you, if you're sick and you have a refugee claim, no evidence that your claim is real, but you can take millions from our country's taxes, and instead of charity starting at home, he's telling you go to your house arrest in your 2x2 house and don't come out. When you're desperate, anything's going to taste good. You're going to get desperate, and that's when they attack you. They'd be like, you can't go to concerts unless you probably get a vaccination. We want a cashless society. Oh, why is that? Oh, because the viruses are coming back and we're all coughing. I'm like, we live in a frozen cold country. October, November, December, January, February, March. Algae season's coming up right about now. But because everyone's being indoctrinated, brainwashed, mentally conditioned to accept this as the norm, like the boiling frog, humans are resilient. We normalize bad things. If you go to jail, never been there, I don't think you ever and I ever will be there. Cigarettes are the new, what's that word I'm looking for? Cigarettes are our value system. So if we're be like, you can't eat, drink, or sleep, buy or sell without the mark of the beast, if you don't take this mark of the beast, if you don't take the vaccination with the RFID chips inside, you're the reason why our society's sick. You're the reason my grandma died. You're the reason why I can't touch the doorknobs and press the elevator buttons. You're threatening my family, my children. All those catchphrases, right? Children, kids, this and that and the other. But yet, if you look at politicians, look at what they do, not what they say, because what they say is there to confuse. How is it we're told to live in a police state, don't breathe or walk, no freedom of assembly, no praying to God, but the LCBO liquor store is open to get us drunk or depressed while he's raking in money. Ganja stores are wide open here. To do what? Get people slow, get people dopey. So you're not sharp. That's what they want. They take your money, they make sure you're dopey, and you don't know what's going on. So freedom of assembly is taken away. They want to give us $1,000 ticket for breathing air and getting vitamin D3. Coming one with God or nature to heal us. Instead, they want us locked up, pent up, going insane. When you're desperate, anything tastes good. And when you're vulnerable, that's when they strike. And they're using this falsehood of safety of, be a hero, save the elderly. Be a hero, take a vaccination when it comes out. It'll be your savior, was on one of the ads. And another Trudeau ad, he was saying, we're in this together. With his raspy, wispy, airy voice. We're in this together. It's all indoctrination. And if our teachers would educate us more and show us, we all recognize this. And I try and break this to people, but it's too much intensity. In 2 minutes, I have to talk with them. But this so-called prime minister, Two-Face, he has a whole 3 months of a lockdown to slowly but surely over time manipulate y'all like the gingerbread man. This getting manipulated by the fox. It's all a herding of the sheeple by the politicians. When the gingerbread man was running away from the boogie monster or the disease or whatever this is, the fake virus hoax hype thing, he said, let me get out of here. What do I do? The fox said, get on my back. I'll get you across the river. Get you to safety. Gingerbread man said, well, what price? Oh, I'll tell you later. Don't worry. Right now, we just got to save you quickly. He goes, okay. Jumped on the fox. The fox went deeper underwater. He said, get on my head. The waves are coming. He's like, yeah, I don't want to die. I'm made out of sugar. I'm going to melt. Then he said, get to my nose. The waves are getting higher. And he flicked his neck. And with a bit of a rhythm, he gobbled up that gingerbread man. And that's what's happening. We're all being corralled. We're being misled and lied to. A lot of fake news. And if people were to stop getting mad at this message and go do their own research before the whole entire internet is scrubbed of truth, Christianity, and reality, then you're never going to see the truth. If ye seek, ye shall find. After 9/11, they took our rights away. They said Homeland Security. That's been misused and abused. Look at what Snowden told everybody. Was he crazy? Is he crazy now, boys and girls? World War II, rights were taken away. They said, oh, it's temporary measures. You'll get your rights back. Did we get them back after 9/11 either? No. Look at in Canada, they have something called I don't know if it was Bill C-51. There's another one.
Caller, I'm going to cut in, but
caller,
I'm going to cut in, but I got a lot of calls on the line. This is a great call. You got to call back next time, man, for sure.
Love you, ABL. God bless America, land of the free, home of the brave. God bless us all.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. All right, shout out to the caller. He was on the road, but he called back. He was a good caller. Shout out to him. All right, let's get to the next call here. And the number to call is 434-658-1220. All right, calling on the line. 617, who am I speaking to?
Good afternoon. Let me speak to Dr. Logan.
Dr. Logan, you're speaking to him. What's going on?
Dr. Logan, how are you?
Everything's great.
I'm trying to figure out what happened. Look for information. The deep state. I couldn't find anything. Do you have any updates about the deep state members or the deep state operative?
Hey, you tell me.
No. I'm asking you. No. I told you I just looked for the information. I couldn't find. So you said that the deep state. So I'm assuming that you might have some updates or some members or some undercover operative in the government. So please share the information with me. I'm really anxious to know who are these type of operatives are, and I would like to know with the name of these organizations so I could be aware of, and I want to make sure that they don't harm me. So you have any information about the deep state operative?
The best I can say is that when you see them, you will know them.
Oh, so I'll see them. But tell me the characteristics, how they look like.
The best I could do is that when you see them, you will know them.
Well, how did I know them?
Sir, you've asked me the same question over and over again. I asked it already.
So,
sir, listen, I've answered your question. Let's get to the next question.
So when I see that, we know. Okay, so but you don't know who they are. You don't know the name.
I've answered the question. Get to the next one.
Okay. You're full of it, man. So you're the doctor because you should maybe you know more than Deborah Bird, Jerome Adams, Anthony Fauci, and Robert Redfield. What did they say about chloroquine?
What did they say about it? I don't know. You tell me.
I'm asking you.
I don't know.
So you don't know. So you didn't listen and they're part of the Trump.
So what did they say?
Task force? No. I'm asking you.
I said I don't. Look, listen to me now. Listen to me. We ain't gonna do this. I said I don't. Listen, sir. This is like really when you talk at the I can just mute you and can't nobody hear you. Matter of fact, when I mute you, I turn my own audio off as well, so I can't even hear what you're saying. You could be talking right now. I have no idea. Now the question was asked. I answered the question. Now my question to you is, what did they say?
What did they say? No, I'm asking you. You the one.
So do you know what they said? So, sir, do you know what they said?
Drug is no proof that could cure the virus. There's no proof. Second, they said there's no proof that it's safe. Okay.
Well, the drug. Wait a minute. Wait. The drug is not a new drug, so it has been proven to be safe.
But you cannot use one drug to go after another virus. Though. I don't. They got to study the virus first. They got to study the elements. They got to do a lot of things, and then they say after they study that they will know how it will go to the human.
Well, that's from the FDA. The FDA has to approve it for. Wait, I'm gonna talk now. The FDA has to approve it for the particular purpose of being used for this particular virus, but it's not a new drug. It's a safe drug. it's used a lot of different things. It's used for people that have lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, malaria. It's used for a wide variety of applications and different things, different illnesses and disorders. So it's not unsafe or anything like that to use in general. People take it as like a preventative thing to prevent from getting malaria. So it's not unsafe. It's a matter of going through the red tape of the FDA. That's pretty much what that is. But go ahead.
Okay, so Anthony Fauci is wrong and they were wrong.
What did they say?
No, man.
Like all I said was probably what the same. All I said was the same thing they said. I'm gonna talk now. All I said was the same thing they said because it's about getting approved by the FDA. You go through the whole process of getting approved by the FDA, and then you can say, okay, now we're good to go. That doesn't mean that it's unsafe and it's unproven. It just means that you got to go through the red tape of the FDA. They cannot say you can use it right away because they still are part of the government, and the government have certain things they got to do. That does not mean that it's an unsafe thing and cannot be used for this particular virus. Doesn't make any sense. But go ahead.
So Anthony Fauci is wrong and they were wrong.
I mean, what I said, you asked me a question. What I said was what they said because they're part of the government, so they can't say they can use it. They have to go by what the FDA is saying. They can't go outside of that. So they're not saying that it's unsafe. They're saying that it has to be proven by the FDA. But that's the last time I'll say that. So get to your next point.
Okay, the next point is that's not true. Okay, whatever you're saying, whatever you're trying to sell to get subscribers, to get views, not true. The drugs, it was tested.
All right, that's all I got to say. Get to your next point.
In France, and the study failed. Yes, some people are getting better. Some people are reacting to the drug, but it's not a drug that is proven for this virus.
You said the study failed. What happened?
Because most people ended up either one quit, the other died. Three. I think there were 14 of them. I think 3 of them responded well to the virus.
And the other ones, what happened?
I think 2 quit, 1 died, and the other did not respond to the medication. So it's not proven. There's no.
So 14 people. So 14 people took a test. So 14 people. So I'm gonna talk because when I start talking, you stop. You just be quiet. You shut up. So 14 people took this. They're part of this whole thing, and that you're using that to base the drug being safe or unsafe on. Is that what you're gonna do? 14 people, and then not everybody even responded. It didn't do anything. Like one person passed away who probably was going to die anyway.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's not a drug that is worked for that. Yes,
so you're basing this off of 14 people?
Not true what you're saying.
So are you basing this particular thing off of 14 people? Yes or no?
Anthony Fauci said.
Answer the question, please, sir. Are you basing this whole thing off of 14 people?
But that's the study that they have.
Yes or no, sir? Yes or no?
Yes, but that's
all right then. Thank you. So 14 people. I got it. Move on.
So okay. So do you have a study that said that 100 people took this drug and 80% succeeded? Do you have any study? No, you don't.
Okay, but you're saying your study of 14 people is all you need. So all you need is 14 people to say, oh, this drug is not safe, although it was not necessarily proven to be unsafe. I don't understand your whole thing. Doesn't make any sense.
So you know more than the task force the Corona task force in the White House. That's what
I've already answered that question. Okay, so don't ask me the same question over and over again. I've answered that question. Don't ask me the same thing over and over again. Get to your next point.
All right, let's move on. Okay, so when you're talking about the right, they're taking our rights, right? If you go back, what happened in 1918 to 1920 when they took our rights for social distancing to stop the Spanish flu. So pretty much they took our rights for temporary reasons. And then we all went back to congregation, going to church, going to school, going to the bar, restaurant, etc. So why you keep selling this idea they're taking your rights and then you ain't going to get it back and all this? Why are you selling that?
Well, first of all, you just said it took our rights. So it's not fake. Sure, wait, I'm going to answer the question. Okay. You just said it. You said it. You're taking our rights, and I agree with that. So that's not fake. You just said it. So if that's wrong, then you're wrong. But anyway, I'm gonna continue to talk. I'm gonna continue to talk. Now we just agreed on the fact that they are taking our rights. That's a fact. That's not going to be denied. You're saying it's temporary. They give them back to us. But 9/11, what happened with that? Oh, it's temporary, just for now. But a lot of the things that they did, after that still remain today. TSA is still here today. So what's up?
Yeah, but because our safety.
Oh, okay, for the safety. Okay,
Everything
all
that they did
right.
in 9/11.
So people are getting people are getting all kind of invasive searches done, all invasive searches done at the airport and Barrett's and everything else. People taking their clothes off and whatnot because of safety. I got it. Yeah. Okay.
Do you have any evidence that we will remain like this after the virus is gone?
I mean, that's my opinion. That's what I said.
Well, then just say your opinion. Stop saying that. Oh,
Did I say it was going to be? Did I say it was going to be a guaranteed fact? Did I say that it was going to be a guaranteed fact that it's impossible for it to go back to what it was? Did I say that? I mean, you're not. Nobody can hear you. The question was, did I say that it would never go back to the way it was? It's impossible to ever go back. That's always my opinion. If I don't give a declarative statement saying that it's impossible to go back, then it's most certainly an opinion. That's obvious. But if you had a brain, you would understand that.
But that I'm on?
Go ahead.
You guys got to stop selling all these things. I know you guys got to make money. Was it Geo Dawson? That's his name, Dawson? He was saying that one of the groups that went to the White House, I guess it was with you in the White House, he was saying that black people won't get this disease. I mean, this is unbelievable. The other one, Amali, I think that's his name, the long hair. You guys got to all stop selling this nonsense. All right.
Well, that's pretty much it for your call. So thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
You gotta stop.
All right. Thank you for the call. All right. Now let's get to the next call. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let me get to the next call. And we're going to go to, let's try 301. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, my name is Ben Bussy, calling from Tacoma Park. Yeah, man, look, I want to. It's great calls, man. A lot of people make you think. I just want to kick out three little things about the Constitution, not just little small things. I'm not going to go into a deep thing on it. Just kind of the first, second, and the 10th amendment, and because these the last part of each one of these amendments is specifically talking about the people. Like the First Amendment says, and petition the government for redress, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. And I think that millions of us, no matter your race, breed, religion, or whatever, we all in the same boat. So I think we got a serious grievance as a nation of people because we all seem to be going through the same thing. Now, I want to talk about the Second Amendment because a lot of these amendments are about the people. And I think right now, maybe a lot of us haven't been paying attention to the Constitution and the power that we are given as a people, we have the right to use right now. Now, about at the last sentence of the Second Amendment, it says, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, the word definition of infringe means that they changing things. They're making it harder and harder for us to get. An example is they got a new bill they're trying to pass. I checked it out on YouTube today. It was a gun shop owner had the bill, and it's called H.R. 57. This bill is so draconian that they're going to make it extremely impossible for anybody to get a weapon. And they're changing, and this is against the Constitution. It's against us as a people. Now, and then I want to just talk about the 10th Amendment. Again, it's on the last part of the 10th Amendment, but I got to read the first part first. It says the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. Now, that or to the people is extremely important because we the people are being left out of what they are doing to us. We're not a part of the process of not working, destroying our jobs, and making it harder and harder, infringing on our rights to get guns. Got us all tripped up on a virus, man. They say it's going to kill. Look, if the virus killed me, they killed me. I'd rather die as an American patriot working than to watch them slowly, because they know, these people that are empowered know about what it says about the power that we, the people, have in the First Amendment, in the Second Amendment, and the 10th Amendment. And we as a people are right now letting them pull a serious game on us, man. Hey, but say, look here, man, enjoy the calls, enjoy your show, ABL. I'll keep on listening. Thank you, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
When you see them, you will know them.
All right, shout out to the caller. You guys have been great tonight. The number to call is 434-658-1220. If you like what you're hearing so far, hit the like button for me. And if you are a first-time viewer, go ahead and subscribe right now. It ain't gonna hurt you nothing. It's free as well. And if you're listening on an audio streaming platform, thank you for being here. You could be anywhere, but right with me. I definitely appreciate you for that. All righty, let's get to a few more calls. Let's go. Let me see. Okay. All righty, Matt, what's going on?
Hey, ABL, what's happening?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Hey, Dr. Logan, this is Dr. Peterson. I actually did this study with taco meat, and we did the extra rigorous study of 15 people, and we discovered that it's dangerous to eat taco meat in a burrito. Taco Bell needs to be shut down right now because meat used for one purpose can't be used for another. That goes for vaccines, too, by proxy. Hey, real quick, Joe, what do you think about Kumo actually getting more support than Biden in these polls?
That's hilarious, but it's not to be surprised because right now Cuomo's on TV all the time. He appears to be more stately. He has his mind. He's not, bonkers out of it like Joe Biden obviously is. So yeah, it makes sense. And Joe Biden is not even doing any kind of virtual appearances. Nobody's seeing him. You got Trump every day on TV having these virus press briefings. They ain't seeing Cuomo on TV doing the same thing. So they're more out there. They're more visible. People can see them. They can relate to them. They become part of their daily routine. But Joe Biden can barely even get a YouTube stream off without stumbling into a complete mess. So he's not even in your face. And that's part of the reason why you got a campaign is to be in people's faces and to have that constant presence. And since he's not doing it, it's no surprise that a guy that is in your face all the time has more of a support than he does.
Yeah, is he even campaigning? Because like to your point about that, he's not out there. He's not. Maybe some of it is his editing crew because he was on. He was hot mic'd for 2 minutes, and then he's like, "Oh, this is the video. He needs better people or something." But I think what's going to happen is when the convention gets kicked off, one of the first things they're going to do is suspend the rules. So they usually adopt rules, earlier in the year, and the rules committee's already posted them, or the committee for rules or whatever the heck they call it. But they might just suspend the rules, and if they suspend the rules, they can suspend the caucus results or the primary results as well, and just go straight to a regular contested convention. And I think Joe might even go along with it. I think Joe Biden will just pass the baton.
Yeah, that's a good point because I think at this particular point in time, he knows that he's not there. And it might make sense for him to go ahead and do that. And he might get advised to do that. They might tell him, okay, Joe, look, right now, there's another guy. He's kind of hot right now, and you're not going to be able to do it. So pass it to him. Let him take it.
Yeah, that's all I got for you. But love your show. Like and subscribe, guys. Take it easy.
Thank you for the call. All right, great call from my man, Matt. Most certainly appreciate him. Yeah, Cuomo's pretty much... He's on, but he said he don't want to run. But I've heard that before, right? Oh, I don't want to run. I don't want to do it, and then they go out there and start running. If enough people ask you to do a thing, you might go ahead and do it. But let me get to the next call, and that's going to be 865. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, my man.
All righty. What's happening?
This is Aaron up here in Sevierville.
All righty.
Hey, I wanted to just let you know it's ridiculous. My papa, let me preface this as a white heterosexual male from East Tennessee. My papa and granny would be rolling over in their graves if they thought somebody was giving our Surgeon General some flack for using lovingly terms for their people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just, that's what you do. How many 5-year-olds you hear say grandmother, grandfather, father, mother? How often do you hear that?
Right. Not very often.
Not very often, I don't think. I want to say to the caller called a minute ago about the amendments, please call back. He's right on track. The first, the second, the 10th, every amendment, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, every one of those need to be followed. We gotta look at that, read it, and follow it.
Right.
Ivan, don't be giving Ivan flack in the chat, y'all. He's a main line to us conservatives to what liberals are thinking. Let him keep calling in. We got to know what they're thinking. He's telling us exactly where they're at, what they're thinking. It's a blessing to us, really, so we know what's going on.
Absolutely. You got to hear every side, so you're not just kind of in the bubble, not knowing what's going on, because it's some things happening on the other side that are crazy, and you got to be aware of it.
Exactly. You said so much tonight, I lost track, ABL. It's been so long since I talked to you. I can't remember what I want to say to you. I've been trying. I've called you 100 times tonight trying to get hold of you. You was over 1,000 viewers a minute ago.
Yeah, it
awesome.
was pretty heavy in here. You know, it's all thanks to y'all. Couldn't do it without you.
I'm loving it. And ABL, just keep doing what you're doing. I want to say, look up to all the viewers, the listeners tonight, tomorrow, whenever you look at it, please look up the Pentagon Pedophile Task Force. Look it up, research, do your own thinking. That's all I want to say, ABL. God bless you. Keep doing what you're doing, brother.
And thank you for the call, man. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. All right, let's get to some more calls. The lines are jumping. I'm gonna try to get to everybody as soon as I can, but the lines are jumping off the hook. Let's go ahead and go. 804, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
I like to hold.
Okay, you want to...
Oh, who you speaking to? Z.
All righty.
Z from NYC. I got a few things I would like to say.
All right, but before you start, I got a little bit of background noise. Can you turn the the show off in the back?
You know it's you in the background. I'm going to turn you down.
There we go.
All right. Let's get it up here. Okay.
All righty.
So I have a few things to say. First of all, your platform should be used for information as far as us being able to communicate and not deal with those. And he should have called Telemundo, okay, with that stuff you just went through. First of all, we as black people have to take back our power in our communities and stop allowing people to infiltrate our communities. Stop allowing these politicians to dictate to us as we're supposed to be dictating to them. We have to reverse these tables because they are out of control. Thank God we have Trump, because I think that Trump is the strength to represent us, the people, because we've been lagging that. We've been sold out. We've been bought out. We've been infiltrated. How come our people are laying on the streets and people are walking over the border? Where are they sleeping at? And we have to put a stop to this as a people. We have to stop these people from coming over here, taking over. Our schools have been, of course, we're the dumbest nation because we got a bunch of people in there that are non-American people. We have to take back our schools. We got to take back our communities. We got to demand these politicians to spend our money back in our communities as opposed to them having enough money to bring people in our communities, take over our communities. And us as black people have to channel our money and empower each other with our money and stop getting wrapped up in this jewelry thing, this reality TV crap, and get into what's really going on in our communities. We're dying as a people, either from gunshots, from drugs, from mental health. We have a lot of problems. We have cities, towns, states all over the place that have no money flowing in them. but they have money to bring people in here from other countries and set them up. That's our money. Our people died, not their people. Our people died to have the freedoms that everybody gets to enjoy. And we have the highest death rate in the coronavirus. And we need to get out here and start protesting or doing something, not a civil war, but some type of a platform that we get out here and let these politicians know we're not having it. If all these illegals can meet and tell Nancy to go sit down, how come we haven't met for Nancy to go sit down? How come we haven't done these things? So we have to wake up as a people, because we're dying. We're dying in so many ways if we ain't already the walking dead. And then somebody gets on and tells you something, they've got a half-cocked English tone.
Call you there?
I'm here. Oh, okay. I was listening to you. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. And we have to start being more intelligent as far as our political power. We have to take back our schools. We have to. What are our kids learning? They ain't learning nothing. They learning a bunch of liberalism. All our colleges have been infiltrated by all these foreign nations. But where are we as black people? Where are we as black? What are we doing in the black neighborhoods? Wearing gold chains, talking about we this and we that. Where are we as a people? Where's all our lawyers? Where's all our scholars? And the people that's on these CNN, we ain't never seen all these black people on TV since Trump got elected, except Al Sharpton and Leno, I think, was the only two, and Ron Williams and a couple other people. But it's massive people on there. They do not represent us. We have to represent us. We need to get some type of a coalition going on here, that we have some type of an outlet. And I thank God for you and other people that's getting out here, branching out on the internet, trying to deliver the black news to our black people, because where are we? They're not letting the people call from jail. They're not telling people what's going on with their families. They're railroading us as a people. They're railroading our people in jail. They're railroading us and bringing somebody in this country to make us obsolete. And we paved the way, and we're allowing them to do it. We're lying down. Where's our get up and go? Where's our voice? We didn't get here, and we didn't get where we are right now by laying. A closed mouth does not get fed, and we are not eating. And the 5 people that's eating, or the 5% that's eating, is not 100%. If this is the land of the home of the free, we should be free. If this is the land of all the money, we should have some. We shouldn't have crumbs. We should have plenty. Before anybody comes over the border, we should have. And then they get ready. We also have to zero in on what they're doing with refugees coming over here and all these illegals coming over here, because these is our jobs. After we are all situated and we have all our jobs, and then somebody can come over here legally. And why they want illegals to come here? Because they want them to come here so that they can source money to them. How is that? Homeless people, they still funding the same homeless programs, and the same homeless people still out there 30 years later and 40 years later. We still fighting for rights from Martin Luther King. So how are we still there, and we here, and we talking about this and this and this now, but we ain't talking about nothing, because we ain't doing nothing. And we got to wake up and start doing something, because it's not enough. Where are we? Where are our kids? When I watch First 48, all you see is a whole show full of black people. Whole show full of black people that's going to jail, giving out 25 years like water, because that's the new slave camps for our people. You know, and we have to stop this. We have to stop. Everybody's fighting Trump. You don't even know Trump from a can of corn, and you fighting somebody that came down from the Golden Palace to help us. We fighting him. He's trying to help us, and we ain't trying to help each other. We going against him for Democrats. But we've been hearing from Nancy and Chuck and all these 80-year-old people that's been in Congress for 20, 30 years. What have they done for us? We still getting a measly welfare check, a measly crumb from a food stamp, and we pay top dollar for years and years and years for unemployment, this tax, that tax, this tax, this tax. They got all this money that they outsource it all around this globe, and come back to the black community and tell us they don't have nothing for us but poor housing, no community centers for our kids. Everything in our community costs top dollar, and everybody gets to come over here and talk about for free. What the heck have we gotten for free? Except nothing. What have we gotten for free? Where's our kids at? Where is the future for our kids? Now they borrowing trillions and trillions of dollars. I just seen what Soros just gave $28 billion to the Democrat Party. The reason why they want this corona to go on is because they want to get some money to funnel into the Democrat Party, because the Democrat Party is broke because they robbed themselves to win. And this right here is the part of the insurance policy that they had, that they talked about all those different tactics that they've been using since this man got in office. It's all the insurance policies. This coronavirus, like the other guy pointed out the other day, was the same timeline that Nancy went out there and started the impeachment, was the same timeline that the coronavirus came down. And the coronavirus came down, and the business community knew it because they started laying people off before it really hit. They know exactly what's going on. They know exactly what they're doing. They're wicked, and we are being foolish. We are being foolish. And if we, God's people, we better wake up and find out what we have to do to better ourselves, whether we have to assemble, whether we have to protest, whether we have to march. We have to do something because we are losing. When they open back up this after this here, we better watch how we spend our money because I bet a whole bunch of people didn't have no money. I bet a whole bunch of people that we have to be self-employed. We have to do in our communities. We own nothing. Everything in Harlem is all Puerto Rican owned or some other nationality owned, everything but black. But whose money they spending? Our money. And I'm sure that ain't the only borough. All over Newark, Charlotte, all over the place. Where's our money? It's all being output. It takes a week for a quarter to come out to Jew community. It takes a minute for it to come out of our pockets to give to everybody else to be rich. And we got to stop this stuff. We get on the internet, we look like fools, we cursing each other, we fighting each other, we carrying on, and we ain't doing nothing. Ain't nobody else doing that but us. And we the number one spenders in the whole nation, and we ain't got nothing. And everybody comes over here and eats for free. Everybody comes over here, and we have to have identification. We have to have verification. We have to have all these certifications, and all these people come over here, get all the construction jobs, all these jobs. They ain't got no skills. They don't speak English. They come over here, they got broken English, and they got everything. And what we got our ancestors, our history in this country, and we don't have nothing, and we're okay with that. And people get on here advocating for illegals, and we ain't nothing in this country, and you advocate for somebody else to come over here to steal from our future. That's unacceptable. And we have to stop this. We have to open up our eyes. We have to see, because we are blinded. We are blinded, and a closed mouth don't get fed. And guess what? So many of us are starving. So many of us are starving for love, for knowledge, for power, for freedom, because we don't have none of it. We better get up. We better get back, or we're going to be back on May 1st, because they had already allocated for this month of April. But I'm telling you, if we ain't back by May 1st, it's going to be a civil war, because that little $1,000 is better than zero, but it ain't enough. It ain't enough, because how come the toll in New Jersey is $20 or something like that, and that's higher than the minimum wage? And this is unacceptable. Hillary should be in jail, and all the rest of the crooks should be in jail, and people should be demanding out here, screaming and hollering and protesting for all of those people to be in jail, because if it was us, we would have 25 years of life. We would have the death penalty. And they do this for murder. These people have committed treason. They have stolen for years and years and years. Biden, Hillary, all of them, they're all down together. It's a big old cesspool. And all of that, all this child stuff they're doing, all this abortion stuff they're doing, the liquor stores open, the drug dealers is on the block, and we sitting at home, and we gotta walk around with a mask. First of all, if you don't have the virus, you don't need a mask, okay? And we gotta stop being stupid. Where's all the damn toilet paper at? Who stole all the toilet paper? Where's Scott? Does China not delivering? Everything from China is contaminated. Where is the toilet paper? I mean, this is they're trying to charge $2-3 a roll for toilet paper now. What kind of crap is this? And they let everybody go in there and rip all the things up off the shelf and stole all of the toilet paper, so the people ain't got no toilet paper. I mean, what kind of crap is? So the same way they need the stuff for the coronavirus, they need some toilet paper on these shelves. And these people are pissing on black people, telling them it's rain. And we better wake up, because if we don't wake up, we are on the verge of extinction, because they don't like us anyway, because they know that we are history, and they don't like us because we're smarter than them. But somehow we've gotten dummied down over the years. Where's our people that when Martin Luther King died, Malcolm X died, when all of our leaders died? Did we die? Because we got to carry on. He brought us this far, and we have let him down. He died in vain because we ain't doing nothing. And the few people that got something ain't enough. We should all have something. How does a whole 25 million people come over here, break our healthcare system, break our housing system, break our school, break our country? They broke our country, and they let them do it. They let them do it knowingly. The Catholic Church conspired with them to do it. They've been coming over here for years with the Catholic Church. When I was a little girl, they was coming over here with the Catholic Church, coming over here, bring them in here illegal. You know why they wanted to be illegal? So they don't pay no taxes. So that they get here to steal identity. So they get here to use the identity, like he said, 5 and 6 and 7 and 10 times. We bet not do it, because if we do it, we going to jail. If they do it, they get a pat on the back. These people are killing people out here. They let them go out of jail. But if a young guy kill a black guy in his community, he get 25 years. He get life in jail. Really? All of a sudden now we have to, and they need to come down off those guidelines. We have to fight to stop them from these guidelines. We got to stop these people from stealing from us, because we are being railroaded. We're being railroaded. And I thank God for the internet. And every time somebody says something good, of course it got to be interrupted 15 times. But we have to do more of what you're doing, and we have to stop all this hee-haw and all this reality TV stuff and get down to business, because we are losing. We're not winning. And if it wasn't for Trump, where would we be? This is the first time in so many years that, Medicaid ain't getting cut, this ain't getting cut, that ain't getting cut. Why is anything getting cut when you sending all this money globally all around the world? For what? For what? Look at the ghetto. Where's the infrastructure in the ghetto? How is that acceptable? How is that acceptable? This is not acceptable. How do they let our kids become this liberalism, the quiet space crap? We are Americans. We're supposed to be outside with the mask on, with the mask off. We're supposed to be fighters. We're not wimps. We don't go inside and curl up. And how dare they outsource all of our jobs? How do we sit by and be so silent and allow them to do that? Why is our pharmaceuticals being sent to another country, all these other countries that don't even like us? How do we accept corporations allowing them to do that when we are the engine? If we want Amazon to crash, if we want Google to crash, if we want iPhone to crash, all we got to do is don't spend no money, and they ain't getting no money, because you know who the big spenders are? It's us. We control all of this, but we've given all of our control away blindly, because we don't know the control. The dollar is the control. Our money is the control. Our voice is the control. And we have to start speaking out and start spinning it right. Where's our iPhone? We should have an iPhone, noodles, everything else. Where's our industry?
Right.
Where's our stuff at? All our clothes we have to buy it every 2 months because it's from China. So it's flash fashion or whatever it is. It's cheap as I don't know what. And we got to buy it over and over again. All of our stuff should be America. And people are saying, America first. You doggone right, America first, because if it ain't America first, it ain't nothing first. Why is all of our stuff overseas? How dare the politicians? We supposed to be out there protesting to get Nancy out, Chuck out. We need term limits. We have to take back our country, and Trump should not have to do it alone. We should have his back. We should be out there fighting. We should be out there supporting him and not being against him, but being for him, because he's for us. He's saying what we need to be saying for ourselves. And that's why he came down from the Golden Palace and said, hey, wake up. What do you have to lose? Because we are losing. We've been losing.
That's right. I'm with you.
Every job.
I don't mean to slow you down. You on the road, but I got a few more calls. Hey,
I know you got to go. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work, brother.
The call was excellent. You got to call back for sure.
I will. Thank
right.
you. Be
Thank
safe.
you. All right,
Bye-bye.
now. Wow. Shout out to the caller. Hey, she got to call back. You know, she got to hold some of that, because she's going to call back and give us some more. That was great. I had to just let her, you know, I try to cut it to like not be so, you know, but that was right on point. I had to just let her rip. Everything she said was all the way true. And this is what a lot of us are feeling in the community. We feel the same way she feels. But too many of us are afraid to verbalize it, and we can't verbalize it the way that she did so perfectly. But that's what's going on right now. And people are going to be surprised when it comes to the election time in 2020, November. It's going to be something different. People aren't really going to be prepared for this. But I'm telling you, things are going to be different for sure. People are waking up. They're starting to see the light. They understand what's going on. And changes are going to happen. Guaranteed. 100%. But hey, thank y'all for being here. I definitely appreciate you. You're watching ABL Live. If you like what you've heard so far, get a video a thumbs up. Get a video a like. If you are not subscribed yet, go ahead and do that for sure. And I'm almost speechless. Oh, if you're listening on an audio streaming platform, give it a good review over there. I don't know if it's a thumbs up, the stars, the like, whatever it is over there, whether you're on Apple iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor, whatever it is. Help me out over there and show me some love on that particular platform, and also on your social medias, your Instagrams, your Insta Snaps, your Facebooks, your Twitters, all that good stuff. Show me some love over there as well. Alrighty. So we got a few more calls on the line. I'm going to get to a few more before I wrap the show on up. We got about 45 minutes left, so we got a little bit of time. The number to call is 434-658-1220. 615, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, this is Government Hamster calling from Houston.
All righty, what's going on?
I was going to give you a little update. I've called in before from Nashville 2 or 3 times. I'm a respiratory therapist working at a federal surge facility that they're setting up for the COVID-19. And I wanted to, just first thank you for what you're doing. It's a service to this country. You're one of the only people that I can listen to that is like giving me common sense, the normal person's perspective, speaking truth, calling balls and strikes, and calling BS when you need to. I'm not going to say the cuss word. But you there?
I'm here, yes.
Okay. So when I say surge facility, that's a COVID hospital down here that the government's setting up, and I'm gonna be honest with you, okay? We have not taken one patient. We've been here for 3 or 4 weeks, and a lot of that is because they're just disorganized. They got like the county, the state, and the federal government all trying to set it up. There's like 1,000 different contractors, and it's just not efficient. But the numbers in Texas just don't call for it. Respiratory therapist is the person who puts the tube in the lungs when they need to be on the ventilator, and then they run the ventilator. So they talk a whole lot about ventilators, and they don't talk anything about us. But I just wanted to say, it's for real on the East Coast. The media is hyping this, and they are totally screwing the American psyche the way they twist it. Because I can tell you from my perspective, America's lost probably 30, 40,000 people right now from just the flu, and that's normal. It's probably more than that by now, but, God is still with us in this country, and we're going to get through this, together. Everybody should just keep praying for the president, and I keep you in my prayers too, ABL, and I'm thankful for what you do. That's all I got to say.
Well, thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
No problem.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. All righty. And you guys have been great tonight. It's been a great audience. We got about 927 in the building. And shout out to the super chatters. I've not forgotten about you guys. You guys have been donating to the stream. Let me see. Shout out to, let me just go up a little bit here. Let me see. Well, I got quite a few. I'm gonna just go back up to see where I was at. Pardon me. Shout out to NPC number 527, was like 50389, who says those task force experts are owned by Psycho Gates. You're talking about your Fauci, your Burks, and everybody else. Definitely Fauci. Not a fan of Fauci. Not been a fan of Fauci from the beginning. But thank you for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Brian Nolan, who says, good job with the super chats for ABL. Don't stop now. If you like what he does for us, tip him now. I thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Joseph Cheeseman, who says that cat on the video was weird, bro. Okay, I don't even know what that one was. What video was that? I didn't forget. Shout out to Blue Indigo Gal, who says, ABL, I speculate what's happening now is purely a test to see how compliant people will be when the real planned event occurs. This virus does not feel like it's a natural occurrence. I mean, I see where you're coming from. I can see that point of view for sure. Thank you for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Frida Talk, who says, it's time to reopen America. Michigan is crazy. I can imagine. I mean, not just how we're closed, but also how rights were stripped away. You have no rights anymore. You can't do anything anymore. I heard that Whitmer says you can't even go to a friend's house. You can't even visit your friend. Like, what are we really doing? It's crazy. Shout out to Nature Boy Alfie, who said, thanks for all you do, ABL. Thank you for your donation and your very kind words. Most certainly appreciate you. Shout out to Renz, who says, I went out today and with all the car lines and store lines, I drove back home and reaching my breaking point. I feel you. I'm right there with you. I feel you. So we got to get this thing back open ASAP. We can't take too much more of this. Shout out to Joseph Cheeseman, who says, where the party at? It's right here. And let me go back down. Thank you to Joseph, who says, dude needs more beers. Talk about my guy that called in earlier. Talking about, I think, Red Pill Barista. Shout out to Robert Pearson, who said, is that Michael Rappaport? LOL, just kidding. He has CDS. Thank you for that. Shout out to Snapzilla Gorilla, who says, those who would give up a little essential liberties for politically promised security deserves neither liberty or security. I'm right there with you, man. Thank you for your donation. He also says tuberculosis kills 1.4 million a year in America. Where are the shutdowns for that? That's an actual airborne disease. They want immunity cards. Yeah, that's crazy. I heard about that. Talking about you got to have a card to even go anywhere. It's like, nah, come on. I'm not going to have some kind of card. I got to flash. Papers, please. Not really with it. Thank you for that. Shout out to, and then they want to, some of the same people now want to have the border open. How does that make any sense? You can come into the country illegally, no documentation, no social security number, no birth certificate, no license, or nothing. But for me as an American citizen, I got to have a immunization card. I got to have a shot card. No, thank you. Shout out to Stymie, who says next. Shout out to Diamond Jane for the super chat emoji. Says keep it up. Will do. Thank you for that. Thank you to Charles Turner Jr., who says, it has been almost 19 years since the Patriot Act was passed. Look at where we are now. Those who are ignorant of history will be likely to repeat it. Very good point you made there, boss. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to be Glee. I can't to be Glee. I can't pronounce your name, but thank you for your super chat emoji with the thumbs up. Shout out to What's the Matter You, who says, I really enjoy your videos. Nice job to you and your crew. Thank you for your very kind words and your donation. I most certainly appreciate it. Thank you to Mish, who says, this is for you, ABL. I appreciate it, boss. Thank you to Matthew Richardson, who says, ABL. Joseph Mifsud, pardon me. Jerome looking for 4 criminals. Alrighty, thank you for that. Shout out to Igon51 for the donation with the emoji with the rocket ship. Appreciate you for that one. Thank you to Snapzilla Gorilla, who says we need to start a movement and to decentralize government, free up the millions of acres of the feds that the feds have control of, and allow people to be sovereign. See, now you're in a whole different wave, but I'm with you. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to Dusty D, who says New York Caller is one of the best. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Shout out to Matt, who says, ma'am. Thank you to Dusty D, who says, don't interrupt her, ABL. She's speaking the truth. Hey, I let her rock because she really was on fire. I let her speak the truth for sure. Shout out to Ren London, who says, ABL, keep up the good work. Will do. Thank you to Zen Christopher, who says, your best live stream yet. Bless up. Thank you for that. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Shout out to Brian Nolan, who says, come on, bums, show your love now. Tip in the out. I did not call you guys bums. That's my man, Brian. Thank you for that. And shout out to Vike Super for your donation. All right. We got a few more calls on the line. I'm going to get to those. So let's go ahead and get on into it. 631, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi. Oh, my God, ABL, I got through to you. I can't believe that. How you doing? This is Wanda from New York.
Everything's great. How about yourself?
And I just became a contributor to your channel about time because I've been listening to you for a long time. And I'm here in the heart of New York. And I was digging what the other New Yorkers had called and said. But what I want to speak of with the black community and this coronavirus is that it seems like everything that happens, okay, they always pick out the black people and say that we're the number one people that's dying from this and dying from that. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And the numbers don't add up in New York. The hospitals are empty here. So when Governor Cuomo says that we need all these beds and we need these, wait, let me turn this down. We need all these beds and we need all these extra ventilators and all this stuff. Let me tell you something. They are paying nurses and doctors up to $19,000 to $29,000. Okay.
Right.
To say that if you have a heart attack, if you come in with a fever, if you come in with just a regular flu or cold, they are encouraged. Let me say encouraged to write on the paperwork that you have corona. Even telling the patients that don't have any symptoms, oh, well, we're going to put it down as corona. And the patients have to, like, literally fight and say, no, don't put that down for me because I wasn't tested for that and I don't have any of the symptoms. And then they tell us, well, there's no symptoms and you can have it for a long time and you don't know you have it. So why am I going in to be tested for something? And it seems like the more people that go into the hospital, right, that have been living with pre-existing conditions for years and years, okay, and going into the hospital and coming out and living, now suddenly are not coming out of the hospital. And then they're diagnosing them with corona. Now, I saw on an independent news station that I think it was the Next News with Gary Frenchie. He had did a interview with Dr. Shiva, who is supposed to be one of the top scientists of respiratory infections. And he is affiliated with Fauci because I think he said he went to school with Fauci or something. And he was given the up and up on Fauci and what his real agenda is. Okay?
Yeah.
And he was saying that Fauci was basically a liar. Okay? And the other person that he works with, I don't know her last name, the Deborah doctor, that's always in Trump's face.
Oh, Burks.
Talking about all these numbers. What I want people to realize is this coronavirus hit, right, at the time when our economy was above everybody else. At the time when in Hong Kong, they were waving American flags and singing the American national anthem and protesting. There was massive protesting going on in China. And being that they are a communist nation, they had to stop it. And they're not above killing their own people and doing bio warfare on their own people, okay, to shut them up and stop them. We saw what happened a few years ago when those young protesters were raising up against the communist China. They were running them over with cannons and Mack trucks.
Right.
Okay? They're not above killing their people. They were taking, literally, we saw a video where they were snatching people out of their homes, and they were never heard of again. Bodies piled on top of each other that they were burning. Okay, that they didn't say all these people were dying of this coronavirus. Now, all of a sudden, China, who had more numbers than anybody, their numbers have gone dramatically down, and they're saying they don't have any new cases, and their economy is up, and they're making money off of selling the masks to Italy and India and other countries when they themselves put the virus out here. So now they're making money off of it?
Right.
I don't understand that shit. I'm sorry for my language. I don't understand that. I'm mad because we are being told, literally, to stay in our houses. And we are being told that 700 people, all of a sudden, a few days ago, when Trump announced, and Cuomo had to admit that our numbers were not going up, that the numbers in New York were stable. Okay, he had to admit that. And then after he admitted that, suddenly Donald Trump comes out and says, yeah, this is good news. New York numbers are going down. We've got all these masks for them. We got the ship. Nobody's in that damn ship. Okay? Nobody's in there. It's about maybe, 5 patients in the ship?
Yep.
If you have to show Italy, if you have to show an ER in Italy with dead bodies and all this chaos and all these patients, right, and say it was from New York, the numbers must not be adding up, what you're saying, because you got to go over to Italy and fake an ER in New York and then come out and say, oh, we made a mistake. How do you make a mistake like that? That was deliberate, because they don't have the numbers, and they don't have the numbers in the ER to back up what they're saying in New York City. When I tell you that people are literally coming out of their houses and driving by hospitals and ERs where they got those tents, and they're saying that these long lines, that people are coming to get tested in New York, it ain't happening. Okay? If you look on YouTube, there are people in New York right now, nurses that work in these hospitals, honest nurses that work in these hospitals, that are taking their own cell phones and driving by these hospitals or taking them in their ERs, and they're empty. New York hospitals are not any overloaded with coronavirus. That is a lie from the leftist media. As me, as a New Yorker, and I have been in Presbyterian Hospital, I have been in Brooklyn Hospital, okay, and I'm telling you, the ERs are empty. There's enough beds for everybody. Nobody's going in there complaining of coronavirus. But it seems like people are going in there with pre-existing conditions, and for something else, a heart attack, a stroke. You know, they're having trouble breathing because they're on dialysis. And then they're saying, oh, this is the coronavirus here.
Right.
And families and people are having to fight them to say, this ain't no coronavirus. And Dr. Oz is at odds now with Governor Cuomo, because he's blocking the treatment of that those 2 pills that that you were speaking of before.
Yeah.
That Trump has been saying for weeks. It's like a miracle cure. And for that, the Spanish guy that called in, he's full of crap. Okay? Because even Dr. Oz and Dr. Shiva said that they have used this treatment in France and in China. And they're using it on hundreds and thousands of people, not 14 and 15. And 90 out of 80 of those people, even when they only had they told them that they only had like a week or 2 to live, when they gave them these 2 pills, right, that Trump and Dr. Oz said was effective, they walked out of the hospital and off of the ventilators in 4 days.
Right.
And was sent home. And they're using it by the thousands in China. That's why they're saying that China's numbers are going down. But Governor Cuomo is blocking. He's blocking the research that Dr. Oz and these prominent scientists and the French guy that created it, that came up with the 2 combinations, right? He's blocking that. What he wants is the government to wait a couple of months before it can be released to the American public and New Yorkers. Meanwhile, if you have the right to try, if you know about the right to try, and you go into the hospital and they say you have corona and you want this treatment, they have to give it to you. But Governor Cuomo is blocking New Yorkers from getting it. And he wants to stop the research on it because he's working with Fauci and Bill Gates and the deep state, and he's a Clinton flunky leftover. Both of them are. And he said he loves Hillary Clinton. How can you love Hillary Clinton and really be a Trump supporter or really tell Trump any truth, knowing how much this woman wants to get back in power? Okay? And I don't believe any of the numbers he said. They change this thing every day. First it's stage 1. Then that's something else. First they say it's not airborne. You can't get it if it's airborne. You can't get it. You can't get it from breathing. You can't get it from somebody talking to you. Then they said, oh, yes, airborne. You can get it just from somebody talking to you. That's stage 2. Then they went to stage 3. Okay? When they found out something about stage 2, they said it was something else. I mean, the story changes every day. And I'm like, wake up, people, especially New Yorkers. Okay? I'm wondering why Bill de Blasio had the nerve to say that if people gather in church, even if it's just 5 or 6 people, even if it's just up to 10 people, he was going to close down that church permanently, even after this virus was cured, and the economy comes up, and we come back to normal. Okay? And they're hinting, like you said before, oh, well, this is the new normal.
Yeah.
That's what you see on the media.
That's right.
Okay? But I noticed that they're telling Jews and they're telling Christians that here in New York. But they're not closing down any of the mosques. They are free to go and worship and pray 5 times a day in their mosque. And de Blasio, neither Cuomo has said nothing, okay, about them being shut down. But he's saying permanently the churches are going to be shut down. And I'm telling black people who are Christians, most black people are conservative. You know, they go to church, they believe in family. You understand?
Yeah.
So how can you be for infanticide? And I don't understand why so many New Yorkers, when they found out that Governor Cuomo was blocking this treatment, okay, that why are they so surprised? This is a man that lit up the Empire State Building over killing babies.
That's right.
In the 9th month of birth, and afterwards, calling it a woman's health issue. How the hell is that a woman's health issue when the baby is already born and her and the doctor can get together and say, okay, well, we want to kill it?
Right.
So why are you so surprised that he's not rushing to save our lives, especially black people's lives? Because him and his contributors in southern New York are in control of all of this here. And the people don't really have any say-so. And if you don't know about the right to try, and you go into the hospital and you're really sick, and they diagnose you with corona, you finished.
That's right.
You may not come home. You may not come home.
That's right.
Okay?
I'm with you, but hey, thank you for the call. I got a few more calls online, but that was a great call. I thank you for the call.
But people, please be aware. Please be aware. Look at the timing. Look at everything that's going on. Okay? Look at the timing. Look at China. Look who's in the pocket of China. Listen to the negativity that the media is telling you every single day. The story changes about this virus. Wake up, people. Wake up. Okay, ABL, I love you.
Thank you.
And I'm not going to take no more of your time.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Excellent calls tonight.
All right, now.
Thank you. Okay, be at peace and unafraid.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Great calls. I mean, the calls are just so good tonight. I don't got to do much. I come out here. I have the platform. You guys come on and take it from there. Fantastic call. But, you know, I've been hearing that a lot about New York. I know people in New York, obviously, you know, people are sending me pictures of empty hospitals and all this and that. You guys know who you are. And shout out to y'all. But people are saying, yo, this is not happening the way that they say it's happening. Okay. Okay. So let's get to a few more calls. I got a little bit more time left. Let's go to 910. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, this is Flu from Wilmington, North Carolina. How's it going, man?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain about yourself.
Hey, man, I appreciate you. Happy Easter to you.
Oh, same to you, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Had some good calls tonight. A little crazy ones you had to cut off, but we appreciate what you did, man. It's yeah, everything's good, man. I think we may be on the downslope. What do you think?
I think so. I think it's pretty much going to be a wrap here soon. And if it's not going to be a wrap, according to the numbers, it's going to be a wrap according to people in the street, because people are not going to take this too much more. They're pretty much over it. They're pretty much done. So I think it's going to come to an end here very soon.
Nah, I totally agree, man. I'm in Wilmington. We're on the beach, you know, beach community. You know, people want to get out. They want to go do stuff. I mean, you can't go on the beach at all. $500 ticket. Can't go on the boat. Can't go to the park. You can get out and walk or run, but you can't go to a park and park a car.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the kids, they've been on spring break and it seems like for a month. You know, they're going crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, trapped in the house, parents are going crazy. I think everybody's just ready to get back to normal, you know?
Oh, definitely. Ain't no question.
Yeah, what do you what do you think about investing? You know, buy low, sell high.
I mean, the time is now. The time is now because, you know, people, you know, they're selling off their stock because they're trying to go to cash because they don't have any cash. So if you have cash and you want to get into stock and you want to see it grow, then the time is now to do it.
No, you're right. I mean, you know, everybody does the herd mentality. You know, they get scared, they start selling. You know, Warren Buffett, he does the complete opposite of what everybody does. That's why it makes so much money. You know, everybody's selling, he buys.
Right, that's right.
And you buy low, and I mean, if the economy does turn around and it does, you know, do well, which I think it will, you know, right now is the time to get in, you know.
Absolutely.
So, all right, well, look, man, I'm not going to keep you. Appreciate all you do, and you have a good Easter tomorrow.
Thank you for the call, man. Same to you as well.
All right, see you.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, if you have some money, if you have cash that you can spare now during this time, go ahead and invest because a lot of people, they don't have income. Maybe their stocks have reduced in dividends or whatever, if they get dividends, or they might just need cash or they cashed out, you know, or they got afraid and cashed out that way. They thought the market might crash all the way and might lose their principal. So if you can afford to invest, go ahead and do that. You know, if not a lot, just a little bit, because it's going to go up from here. The market is continuing to go up. And once we get back on track with this whole economy, I think it's going to really skyrocket because people are going to be wanting to, it's going to be just a lot of kinetic energy kind of built up and it's going to get released. So let's get to the next call here. And let's try 787. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Maribel.
All righty. What's going on?
How you doing, Anthony?
Well, can't complain.
I'm actually lowering my TV here. I'm actually calling you from Puerto Rico right now.
All right. Shout out to Puerto Rico.
Thank you. Just want to say, you know, thank you for everything you do. And I just have a question for you. You know, I'm noticing a lot of reports, you know, back and forth. One news company says one thing, another says another thing, and everything is always out to get the president. And I feel that it's about time that all American citizens get together and decide that enough is enough, because all this fake news and incorrect information that's going back and forth, all it's doing is causing division between everyone, family members, co-workers, and everything. And this thing has been going on for the past couple of years, and it's only getting worse. Even with this pandemic that we're going through, all you see is still division, still a lot of lies going on in the media, and it's frustrating. I think people need to, you know, really open their eyes and wake up and put an end to this, because the more you feed into this type of attitude, the more it's going to grow, just like the virus. So people, you know, what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think you're right, because it's kind of a poisonous type of mentality people are starting to get. And it's coming from the media. And a lot of people don't have any other way to get their information. They trust the media, put all their faith into the media. And then when you keep seeing the stuff that's on there, that's all they're really going to internalize. And then it affects them in a lot of different ways. They're willing to give up their rights. They're willing to tell on their neighbor, to attack their neighbor. It's a problem.
It sure is. You know, like I said, I'm over here and I follow, you know, your page. I follow also Branham Tatum. You know, all these conservative commentators, because I'll be honest with you, you know, my eyes open for the last 4 or 5 years. You know, I used to think a little bit, let's say to the left, not fully, but now, you know, I see things in such a different light. And I share that with my friends and my family and let them know what I've discovered, not only just by telling them through the mouth. It's just like the word of God. You read it, you open your eyes on things the same way I see it with when I read or look into any other social media. If I see it's good information, correct information, I'm going to forward that, because that's the only way. Because as you could see, it's disgusting, it's sad, it's heartbreaking, and all you see is these the media, the mainstream media, they all sticking together. These politicians, they need to be held accountable and voted out, and people just point blank need to wake up, because it's only going to get worse, and the division is going to continue, And like I said, everybody gets together when there's like a situation happening. Then all of a sudden, when things go back to normal, everybody starts being nasty to each other again, and the thing keeps happening. So, just wanted to share that, with your viewers. And I'm actually happy I got through. I called like 200 times. So I'm happy I got through.
Well, I'm glad you did as well. I thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, Anthony. God bless you, and I hope, all this passes everybody. Blessings to everyone, and let's just keep pressing on.
All right, thank you for your call. God bless you as well.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. And shout out to all the new callers tonight. You guys are great. And thank you to everybody that always calls in. You guys are great as well. Let's get to the next call here. Let's go. Hold on. Let me see. Let's go 631. You're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. Calling from New York. How you doing?
Everything's great, man. Can't complain.
Wow, I tried to call a lot tonight, so I'll make it quick because I know that the lines are jumping.
All righty.
Okay, so a few things. First thing, I read an article. I don't know if you spoke about this earlier, about New York City having auctioned off its extra ventilators 5 years ago. Have you heard this story?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Okay, there's a article. It was printed by ProPublica. Okay, and I have it on my screen now, and it was published, I believe, on April 6th, and then it was reprinted by The Hill. So I'm just going to go through the basic facts of it. Okay, it says that Mayor Bloomberg's administration acquired at least 500 extra ventilators back in 2006 because there was an anticipated flu virus, an epidemic that was going to come. So Mini Mike stocked up on extra ventilators. And then 5 years ago, the de Blasio administration auctioned them all off. Now they're claiming that over time that they broke down or they were costly to maintain, but they put them on the auction block and they were sold. Okay, now this article came out on April 6th. Now on April 7, Governor Cuomo, the Democrat savior, he issued an executive order, and it requires all New York entities, that being I think medical entities or others, to report their ventilators and protective equipment to the Department of Health, which then allows the governor to commandeer those pieces of equipment and to pay for them, but to take them. So in other words, upstate hospitals in New York that built up supplies over the years and that were not worried about 31 genders and plastic bag bans and plastic straw bans and all this nonsense that preoccupied New York City for so long, that any of those hospitals that built up, a stockpile of ventilators and gloves and masks, that they have to hand those over to King Cuomo so that he can bring them down to New York City, which, by the way, in 2010 shut down St. Vincent's, which was one of the multiple hospital systems in New York. So I thought that was very interesting to put those things together. Cuomo has been governor in New York for 9 years, and for each of those 9 years, New York led the United States in people leaving their state.
Mm-hmm.
So Cuomo is the worst. De Blasio stinks, and the Democrats deserve both of them.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Two more things. Oh, one more aside. I know 3 people who had the coronavirus. As far as I know, 2 of them are either completely recovered or are fine. One of them was the son of a friend. She told me that he was 90% recovered, and that his girlfriend also had the coronavirus, and she was taking the Zithromax, which was the Z-Pack.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they had the hydrochloroquine. I know one of your other callers said that it was being either banned or held up by Cuomo. That I don't know, but I know that the Z-Pack was it's available because I know people that have taken it before in good times. That's nothing new.
Right.
Two other quick issues. One of them, North Korea is a puppet state of China. So if Trump is going to continue after, this epidemic, or after this passes, if he's going to continue having a détente or relationship with North Korea is going to have to make a choice. Commerce with China has not made them less of an adversary. It hasn't made them any better. In fact, it's made China stronger, and it's made China worse. So North Korea is going to have two choices. Choice number one is going to be adopting the South Korean model and trying to become prosperous and a regular country, or continue to be a Chinese puppet state, because now we know what China has in store for everybody. And if Kim Jong-un believes that China has endangered him, then he might see Trump's offer as a good deal. And curious about what you think about that.
Now, I kind of got lost a little bit. Now, as far as what offer?
Well, Trump has basically told North Korea that he'd like to normalize relations with them, and for them to be a friendly country. But if they're friendly in the same way that China is friendly to us, then we know that they're friendly with a knife behind their back, and there's really no good that can come of it. So it's either North Korea is going to be a good, a normal country and try to be like South Korea, or we don't really need that sort of friend anymore.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. I mean, I think the thing with North Korea is we just don't want the aggression from them, because we got, interests over there. We want to protect South Korea and Japan as well. So we want them just to kind of we want to be able to be on good terms with them as much as possible. We don't want to be adversarial. So that could be just, diplomacy, diplomatic actions talking. That's not necessarily trying to be like best friends with them. Just a matter of trying to keep peace as much as possible. So, and it's the same thing with China, because, we got this whole thing going on right now with the virus, then the trade war and everything else, espionage they got going on, spies, selling intellectual property. They are a rogue state if there ever was one, but Trump would still say that Xi Jinping did very good things. So it's a matter of just trying to balance, trying to play the game, trying to not have people be so adversarial to you, while at the same time understanding that you can't just be best friends with people like that, because if you do allow them in, if you're trusting like that, then like you said, they will stab you in the back, because that's what they do, as adversarial nations do.
Right. And one more issue, it's not so much coronavirus so much as it is about civil liberties and the right to bear arms, because I think it ties into all of these issues very well. The right to bear arms is not simply a Second Amendment issue, because the right to bear arms existed before there was a Second Amendment. It's a natural right that belongs to all people, that they can defend themselves and their families and their communities against tyranny. And because people make up the militia, it's the militia that resists tyranny. That's why the Constitution did not contemplate a standing army. The militia was to be able to repel if the army ever went rogue. So very often you hear critics of the right to bear arms and of guns say, oh, does that mean you can own a nuclear weapon? And a lot of conservatives tend to be, they don't really know how to respond properly to that. But nuclear weapons, chemical weapons, and biological weapons, they're referred to under the umbrella term of weapons of mass destruction, or WMD. Those are ultra-hazardous weapons, and they create an unreasonable danger to third parties. Whereas all able-bodied men, they can use a gun or use a semi-automatic rifle to defend themselves, their family, their home, their community, and if called into service in a militia for a state, they can repel tyranny. You can't use a coronavirus or sarin gas or an atom bomb without killing innocent people. So what I would say is that now we understand, because we're all being forced to stay in our homes, and you can't go to a church, and First Amendment freedoms are being restricted for regular people, but journalists can go on TV and they can say all sorts of lies, and so freedom of the press is protected, but freedom of worship is restricted, freedom of assembly is restricted. So one of your callers before said, all of the amendments, all of the freedoms protected by these amendments have to be respected. But now I think it becomes very clear why we have a Second Amendment, and it's to protect against tyranny and the canard, the stupid argument. Oh well, can you own a nuke? Can you own a anthrax or stuff like that? Now we know why those are not arms.
Right.
Because if you release a biological weapon, you could paralyze the whole country. You release a sarin gas, you can kill everybody in a town. Or if you use plutonium, you kill everybody in the whole city. So we know the difference now between the right to bear arms being what an arm is versus these weapons of mass destruction.
Right, absolutely. I mean, I think we all can understand that there's a certain line that has to be drawn, and then people got to be responsible with it. I think it just kind of makes sense. And I think as a nation, as a culture, we understand what the line is. You got to be able to protect ourselves, but at the same time, you can't just annihilate a whole town with, a push of a button. That's not really what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be just to protect yourself and your family, not to, to easily decimate an entire country with, like a button push. So, yeah.
Well, it's been great talking to you. Stay safe, be well, and thank you for having me on again.
And thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Take it easy.
All right. Shout out to the caller. And let's take one more call. 859, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello.
Hello, who am I speaking to?
Linda.
All righty, Linda. What's going on?
Linda from the Midwest.
All righty. What's happening?
Well, I'm kind of disturbed over all the constitutional. I'm 57, so I'm a late stage boomer. And I'm very disturbed. I grew up in Texas. I'm living in Ohio now. With all the infringements and how quickly they happened. And that people are online like they don't even understand history. Very disturbed by it. And also this whole, we got a lot of violence happening in Cincinnati right now. There have been double murders, it seems, every other day here over the past week.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on, but I'm like, I don't like it. Yeah. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but we've had, it was another couple of kids, 28 and 30-something, 31, 32, killed, down the road from me last night. And I don't know what the heck's going on.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I wish people would calm down.
Yeah.
We're in it together, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Yeah.
No, I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, but I think people need to look back into history. If you didn't get it from school, look back. I read a lot of books, being from Texas. None dare call it treason. The Great Deceit. Looking into the roots of socialism. And it's not good. And they are play by play doing all of these moves against us. And we're all going to suffer if they manage to take over. And it looks like, you got these Q people out there, but I'm like, well, they're lining it up pretty well. We've pretty much been taken down by this pandemic in a way worse than the pandemic could ever do to us.
Mm.
And it's not going to end well if things don't turn around. And if this ends up not being the big one, well, they laid out the playbook for us because this happened really fast.
Yeah.
They have done things that are unheard of. they have commanded businesses to stop operating, ending up in, 25% of our workforce not having a job the next day. So it's just not good.
Right.
In my view, I hope it's not the big one. I would like to live out another couple of decades and not have to, point my gun out the window and start firing. I mean, I can, but I would really prefer it not go that way. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I just wish people would love each other a little bit more. I mean, I know the world is a wild place. I know there's some evil people out there. We have to protect ourselves. We have to watch each other's back. But, I mean, all of us are guilty of the stress getting to us. So we just need to make sure, if you're going to fight, make sure that you're in the right,
That's right.
I just don't want to see a lot of loss of life. And there's just things going on right now that this is really not good. So I think people need to read up on a little bit of history and really think about it, because we're not going to end up in a good spot. I'm still hoping that's not where we're headed, but I know what the scriptures say. So brother turning against brother, turning each other in for having a barbecue in the backyard, or, we got a freaking meteor coming into next month, Atlas. So, I mean, I guess it could end at any point, but I really wish it wouldn't be the next couple of decades.
Yeah, I understand.
I think we need to protect what we've got here, because the United States is a very special country, and we're very lucky to live here. And I realize, God, I understand the racism. My boys are Native American. I'm not minority, but they are. And there is a lot of racism out there, but I just really feel like we do have an extra special country, and we need to fight for that. I don't want violence, but if it comes, I'll be there. As old as I am, I mean, to stick up for what our forefathers died for. All of us, all of our forefathers died for this. And it's like the last bastion of freedom, and we aren't very free today, because we're not even supposed to be outside our houses here in Ohio. God help us. All right, that's all I got to say.
Well, thank you for the call.
You got any input for me?
You pretty much said everything. You said it pretty well. So thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, dear. I enjoyed watching you tonight. Great show.
All right, thank you.
Good callers.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. That'll be a wrap for tonight's show. Thank y'all for joining. It's been a great show. You guys have been fantastic. 100%. I could not ask for a better audience. You guys are excellent. And I'll be back here live again on Wednesday from 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. And I'll be doing pre-recorded videos all throughout the week, of course. Monday through Saturday. I try to get out at least 2 a day. Sometimes I can't get out 2. Sometimes I might get out more. Also, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, my website, anthonyblogan.com. I'll be putting more original written content on there. And I got some staff over there writing too, some good people. You got T-Pain over there writing stuff. Don't tell her I told you she over there writing stuff. But we got a lot of good stuff coming. And I'm going to just try to put out the best information possible, give you my 2 cents, my analysis, put a bow on the top, all that good stuff. So that'll be a wrap. Shout out to y'all. We got my super chats right quick. I'm going to read, and then I'm going to head on out. Shout out to Hiker AZ67, who says, I love when I catch your live show. Heart emoji. Great call us tonight. Thank you for your donation and your very kind words. Thank you to Hiker AZ again for the good job super chat emoji. Thank you to Joseph Cheeseman, who says, so that caller from New York is saying that New York hospitals don't have that many corona patients. Not at all. It sent that whole ship, right? Because it was like code red alert, all this, that, and the third, and then nobody was on it. So they could have kept that ship where it was at. They could have just sent a truck with some tents and did the same thing they did with that whole big ship that had 8,000 beds. You got a hospital ship with 8,000 beds and like 20 people on it. It's just overkill. It's just too much. Shout out to Hiker AZ for the super chat emoji. Shout out to my man Killer 699 who says, ABL, I've seen on TV them digging mass graves for unclaimed people on the news in the park in New York City. My wife asked me, why not just cremate them? I didn't have a good answer for her. It seems weird. Yeah, it does kind of seem weird. Maybe they're going to bury them there because if they're unclaimed, their family could get their remains later. If they, I don't really know. But that whole thing is not a first time that's been done. That happens sometimes with people that are unclaimed. Rather than burning them up, they'll just bury them there. And if they have to be exhumed, they can do that easily. Versus, when you cremate it, it's a wrap. But shout out to Adam Hall for the super chat emoji donation. And shout out to Max Dominguez who says, Happy Easter, everyone. God bless you all. 1000% Happy Easter. Hopefully you get to, celebrate your day some kind of way. I'm not really sure. You got people talking about you're going to go to jail if you go to church, which is ridiculous. It's crazy. How about with mosques and whatnot? I don't know, but I'll move on. Thank y'all for being here. Shout out to the moderators tonight. Shout out to my man, Bill from the Hills. We got Killer Sushi. We got Liza Jean, Michelle A. We got Shreves. I think I saw Shreves in the building earlier. You guys are fantastic. Ansel, everybody, thank y'all for being here. And shout out to all the people in the chat doing a good job. And that's pretty much a wrap for me. I will see you guys again live on Wednesday, again, 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. This particular show will be available on all streaming audio platforms. A link for that will be in the description box. You can go on Anchor, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, whatever you want. And shout out to the very last super chat from What's the Matter You, who says, Happy Easter to all. Much love. El Jefe, the boss. Alrighty. That'll be a wrap. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And Shreves says, best show on the interwebs. My brother ABL, we got to do some gaming nights, insurgency. Everyone be safe, and thank you for sharing your thoughts and calling in. Shout out to my man Shreves. You do a lot for me, man. I really appreciate you. But I got to go. Thank y'all for being here. And until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out in peace.